because I found this story out of Texas. 6-year-old James is caught in a gender identity nightmare. Under his mom's care in Dallas, Texas, James obediently lives as a transgender girl named Luna. But given the choice, when he's with his dad, he's all boy. His sex at birth. In their divorce proceedings, the mother has charged the father with child abuse. She has sought a restraining order against James's dad and is seeking to terminate his parental rights. Let's look at the facts. James is 6. We are living in a day and time where this woman, if this judge had any effing balls, he would hold this mother accountable for child abuse.
There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with WeThePeople.dating. That's WeThePeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
Adjust your mojo now. Thank you.
Ship has landed.
Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 5-0.
You know what the number one thing that is going through your mind as you walk up to a casket of a president lying in state? If you are the sitting president and you walk up to the casket of a president lying in state, what is the number one thing going through your mind? You know what it is? How long do I have to stand here because people are watching? It doesn't matter if you like the guy, dislike the guy, all politics aside. It doesn't matter if you're a religious person. There is overwhelmingly you're thinking, how long do I have to stand here and look somber? Even if you are somber.
He looks good for a dead guy.
Well, he was covered here, though.
The casket's not open. They don't have an open. If you lie in state, is the casket not open?
I don't think so.
Well, then that's.
How do you keep the flag on it if the casket's open? Is it like a flag blanket?
I'll get back to you on that one.
Is it flag jammies? What do you?
But if you're lying in state, I thought if you're lying in state, you see the body.
Oh, it may not even be in there, really.
I was going to
say. You know who I've heard's in there?
Who?
Jack Ruby. You know what? The second thing that's going through your head.
Cheese.
No, you see, number one is, how long do I have to stand here? And number two, why the F would they think co-presidencies would work with a company that just merged? It's never worked in history. They must be out of their effing mind. It's just in the back of your head rolling through there. I just, And then the third thing is 14 months. I give it 14 months. That's when all will be exposed.
Is that when the book comes out?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. 14
It could
months.
be an ebook. I mean, the book could come out tomorrow as an ebook.
It's going to be more of an F book, I'm telling you right now. It might be an ebook, but I guarantee you it's an FU book. Lots of FUs coming. Oh, they have no clue. Folks, this is going to be so good. It really is. And the FU isn't so much a personal FU as I'm tired of you scamming people. I mean, you being the metaphorical you.
Right,
Meaning potentially anybody I've worked with or for the last 30 plus years in my career. It's not. It's specific, but it could be.
Could be about that
for
woman.
legal purposes.
Could
it could
be
be
about that
anybody.
woman.
Could be all of them. Could be about them.
Yep. Could be about an ex-wife.
Right, exactly. Hey, it's going to be a good show today because I'm feeling just a little bit under the weather. Which means I got a lot of drugs in me.
Yep.
And the last time I had this many legal drugs in me on the air is when I said Bush should be shot. I had the Secret Service visited. So,
Well, good. That's what we need today.
So it's going to be good. A nice visit from the Secret Service. I feel confident with a little bit of work. I mean, if I had like a complete change of blood, 3 or 4 weeks, complete bed rest, and just a little bit of meth, I today could perform at a just slightly less than good quality.
You know, that's what when you just don't give a crap, that's when you do your best work.
Maybe that's it. I know today I may come up with some dynamic, powerful ideas for this broadcast platform. That's what I'm hoping for today. Powerful ideas of let's take our fledgling company and merge with another fledgling company to create something that'll be spectacular. I know.
By the way, welcome if you're on listening on iHeart.
Oh, that's right. We're up on the iHeart radio app this morning as well.
That was going to be the big news today.
It was.
It turned out to be the big news yesterday.
Right, exactly.
Ta-da!
Well, I do have some more big news I would like to just throw out there. And I didn't ask our 22 co-presidents if I could throw this out there, but I feel comfortable just throwing this out there.
What are they going to do, fire you?
Our new slogan today, things are getting sweaty. Things are getting sweaty. That's what I'm going for. It's sweaty and sticky. That's the slogan.
Oh, sweaty and sticky.
It's just things are getting sweaty in here.
It's awful sweaty.
Getting sweaty and a little bit stinky because it's hard to have one without the other. So look for that on the app too. I mean, by the way, it's a working phrase or logo. So
is today the day that Matlock comes in and says, you know, I've really enjoyed working and telling all the stories I've told, but I'm leaving. I'm leaving the company.
Might be.
Could be. I mean, that would be kind of weird, but it could happen.
Hey, I wish you all the best of luck, but I'm just leaving now. With no prior warning.
Nope.
Things sounds like they're going great with the sweaty new content, but I'm leaving.
He wakes up this morning. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Guess what?
Wow. All right, that smells pretty good. All right, get the comments in via social media because if you can top all of that, well, by golly, we'll include you in the show close. If that guy in the next studio that I recognize today as Ron
Phillips,
he'll absolutely include them in the show close. Because, I mean, I'm just thinking maybe we have a better slogan. I mean, I like things are getting sweaty.
I think that says it all. It's descriptive.
How about things are getting hot? And we use half-naked women in the logo.
I like that.
Better than having them on the logo, have them right in here.
I was going to say, and why half-naked? Why not all the way naked?
Fully naked.
What good does half-naked do you?
Things are getting hot and sweaty. Hot and bothered. Hot, bothered, and sweaty. Hot, bothered, sweaty, and spicy. And yummy.
Yep. Throw moist in there somewhere.
Billboard. Going to be a lot of words, but you get the idea. Something and moist. You like things are getting moist.
Things are getting moist. And I said it just before Mary Jack Hole Christmas did.
All right, very good.
Fine.
Now, what is this? What are you trolling the people in the MeWe chat room for? Did you hear the bomb he dropped? He simply went in this morning, and what was your comment?
Let's see. I believe I said, wait till you hear the story about the vaginal maintenance that has to be done to a trans.
And that's it. And then you walked away.
And I walked away.
That is just a drive-by me-weeing.
Pretty much
That's just a drive-by posting there. I'm guessing that we got some comments?
It got to every one of them, yeah.
So you pretty much went up to the hornet's nest and just whacked it a couple times with a wiffle ball bat. Okay.
And then I hit the hornet's nest.
Okay.
I sure did. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. And we're not going to go into detail on that because the story was really quite tragic and awful. But there was this long op-ed or editorial piece, commentary, from a person who's transitioning to a female. And she had really what was a throwaway comment in there almost. It certainly was not the focus.
No.
And it said, you don't understand how horrible this stuff is. And it includes...
Was it the daily or weekly or something?
Regular. I remember. Regular, painful vaginal maintenance.
And the only thing I
No.
No.
I think we all
just leave it.
It's just I don't know what it is, but if it's painful, I'm not sure anyone needs to hear. That was enough. I didn't realize that was a thing. I
didn't either.
They certainly garnered some additional sympathy here.
Yes. And why would you?
Let me add, you know what? Maybe all women have that.
Well,
Maybe all women are like, welcome to my world, and you wanted this. I don't know. I'm just saying.
There's maintenance. There, it's called VM.
Right, but this seemed very different.
This seemed, yes. The painful part is the...
And this seemed like, I'm going to head down a path here. Like this was required to keep things in order. No, that's not really good. To help the surgery continue to be a woman.
To keep the store open.
Okay, I'll see what you say there. To make sure it's all working right. All right.
To keep the store open. Because otherwise the store closes and... lights are off.
Well, that's all crazy. Speaking of crazy, or what some people consider crazy, Sharina Hamza.
Ah, remember her well.
That's Shareena. Sharina. Sharina.
My Sharina.
Hamza, Hamzah. She is a postdoctoral researcher. And she recently wrote an article called, nothing to do with her painful vaginal maintenance, How the Rise of Veganism May Tenderize Fictional Language.
Wow, that's a compelling title there. I can see why you were drawn to that.
I don't know if this was her doctoral study, but I hope it was.
She got some money to study that one.
Yeah. Again, How the Rise of Veganism May Tenderize Fictional Language.
Okay.
Would you like
I'd love to. I would, yes.
This story was sent to me by my wife yesterday afternoon. My wife will occasionally send me news stories. And when I see that she's sending me a story, I'm like, it's gold, Jerry, I know. Because my wife is fairly tolerant. I mean, look, she's with me, right?
Yes, I was going to say, and she has a sense of humor.
Yes.
She married you.
So as a news anchor, when she is going through the news and when she sees stuff that she thinks she should send me, it's usually accompanied by just some sort of what the mother pus, like this. In this article, this woman argues that as a society, we will continue to progress. And as we progress off a meat-based diet, which seems like a big assumption, as we continue as a society to progress off of a meat-based diet.
What are we going to do with all the cows and the chickens?
I think you just have to systematically kill them. You're gonna have to keep them, otherwise you're gonna get overpopulated, right?
I would think.
If we're not eating them, then
something's got to do something with them.
She said, as we progress off of this meat-based diet, which I obviously wasn't at the meeting, I didn't get a vote. She said, so too will society find itself shrugging off meat-based language. And I got to tell you, before I saw her use the phrase meat-based language and realized she was talking about veganism, I may have assumed something else.
Meat-based language.
By the way, I love it when you use meat-based language. It's so hot.
You dirty little burger.
I'll tell you what. Meat-based language, things are heating up.
They're getting moist. Is it getting moist in here? Is it
heating up with that meat-based language. Anyways, she said, suggests that metaphors involving meat could be seen as less socially acceptable.
Well, metaphors.
That's
involving
meat-based language. Yeah, meat-based language is metaphors involving meat.
Okay. Metaphors. All right.
She said, and that will be seen less acceptable in society if killing animals for food becomes less acceptable. Okay. So let me up there. So we are, according to her, apparently moving towards veganism as a society. And as we do that, your meat-based language, metaphors and such involving meat, will be seen less acceptable and maybe even frowned upon, verboten at some point.
I'm trying to think of a good meat-based metaphor.
Well, I can help you out there.
All right, sure. I'd love it.
She suggests that things like instead of killing two birds with one stone,
okay,
that you try something else, like maybe feeding two birds with one scone.
I think that's brilliant. That's that's
and By the way, am I beating a dead horse here?
That's got to be something.
What I should start doing is feeding a fed horse. Why are you beating that dead horse? He's already dead. You could just feed that horse that's already fed.
Why would you? Okay.
Well, that keeps the idea of the metaphor.
Yes, it does. Okay.
If you're feeding a fed horse, you're just beating a dead horse.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Okay. So she suggests we consider changing language, stuff like that. Or are you bringing home the bacon? Are you?
I could be.
You should start bringing home the bagels.
Well, there you have it. She's got a point.
Do you think she's putting all of her eggs in one basket here? She could put all of her berries in one bowl.
She could put all her berries in one bowl.
Now, she flagged a couple of other ones, but she didn't offer any suggestions to calling someone chicken. What are you, chicken?
What?
Are you too chicken to do it?
Why would... Okay, that's... When you say someone's chicken, you're not referring to a dead chicken. You're not referring to...
It's meat-based language, Brad.
Okay.
That's what you're missing here. It's still meat-based language. And why is being called a chicken? Why is a chicken afraid? Come on.
They're stupid.
You're casting aspersions on chickens here is what you're doing. Why is that the negative?
That's a good point.
What are you, too black person?
Right.
You're afraid? What are you, too homosexual?
Right.
Would you ever accept that, Brad?
No,
so why would
that's
you
true.
expect that from a chicken?
Someone has to stand up for the chickens. You're right.
So I'm thinking maybe, what are you, pine tree?
That's low.
It doesn't rhyme, but
it's so low.
at least it's not meat-based.
That's
and
true.
the vegans don't care about plants. No, they eat them some bitches up like crazy, don't they?
Even when they scream as they're being yanked out of Mother Earth.
Right. So, what are you, dandelion? Well, I guess that kind of could be confusing if you're lying about that.
Right.
Right.
Is there? Did she have a suggestion for a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush?
She didn't. But I bet people in the MeWe chat room do.
They do.
She didn't offer. She didn't offer a change to this, but she offered something that is a problem, and that is if you have bigger fish to fry.
Oh.
I often have bigger fish to fry. Quite often. Daily, hourly, minutely, I have bigger fish to fry.
Huge fish.
So why am I frying those fish?
What should you be doing with them? Maybe
I have bigger wishes to try.
That's genius right there. That is,
and that's right off the top of my head there, Brad. That's who it is.
That's very nice.
This author says if veganism forces us to confront the realities of food's origins, then this increased awareness will undoubtedly be reflected in our language and in our literature. So this is all coming, she's saying. She said, that is not to say that meaty descriptions will not be done away with immediately, or will be done away with immediately. She said, after all, it can take language a long time to change.
Yes.
Meaty descriptions. She said the new vegetarian burgers that have been made to bleed like real meat. Have you seen those?
I'm not sure I've seen them, but I've heard.
We had one at the NRA, the National Restaurant Association. Remember that?
I don't remember that I had one there. You guys may have done that without me, but it bleeds.
It was some of them. So remember the booth right across from us, the backside. You go around, you can get the plant-based burgers.
Impossible or something like that.
Yeah, and they were good. I mean, they tasted like beef. Good for them. Great. Right. But some of them actually come with some sort of red substance, so it looks like it's blood.
It's blood. They just take the blood from cows and
here's the thing. It's not really plants. We just tell people that. The vegans always want to tell people they're vegan. We just want to tell them it's not meat, it's plants. No, this is made from pine tree and gravel.
Tastes amazingly like meat, though.
Right, it does. It tastes just like beef. No. Pay no attention to those hooves and horns out back.
Nope.
That pile of them. No, that's just
what
pine cones.
That's what they did with Soylent Green, and everyone was perfectly happy eating it.
She suggests, though, that when she mentioned these burgers that bleed and all that, because of that and the fact that people are, pursuing those,
right?
She said maybe it's symbolic. She said that maybe there's a symbolic power to eating meat. That you're dominating that animal, so to speak. So it's not just about the meat-based language.
So if I want to eat their meat,
yes,
I want to. That's a sign that I want to dominate them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shows your barbarian nature, clearly. I mean, do you want to go out and eat a pine tree? Do you want to dominate a pine tree?
They're too sticky.
There it is.
They're too sticky.
Right. So
and they're too rough. They're too rough and too sticky. So no.
She said this symbolic power of meat may carry into the new age of veganism, but they just have to, deal with it in different ways. She said, in which case, the idea of meat as power will also remain in literature for some time to come as well. So using this meat-based language, it may be around a little while longer because of that meat is power that we all have within us.
So she believes that your meat is powerful.
Some.
Okay.
Our attitude about our meats.
Okay. Our meaty. Okay. All right. So our meaty attitude.
And that's reflected in our meat-based language.
Okay.
And actually goes beyond that. I would say meat-based entertainment and meat-based literature, meat-based music, songs.
By the way, they're banning meat-based entertainment at Starbucks next year, just so you know.
That's a whole different story. So, PETA has gotten in on the act.
I'll bet they have.
Yeah. Rarely do I mention PETA on this broadcast or others because they are established. It has been established that they are crazy.
And please don't mention rare and meat because then...
Okay, sorry.
That refers
It's
to cooking.
long established that PETA is crazy. So anything they say, it's not even like, wow, you're just pushing something nutty. You people are mentally unstable.
Yes, they are.
So,
Yes,
and they just want the attention. They're like the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But in this case, I'll go ahead and share because she quoted them in this article. PETA said, while these phrases may seem harmless, they carry meaning and can send mixed signals to students about the relationship between humans and animals and can normalize abuse. So, beating a dead horse,
Yes.
it's normalizing abuse, Brad. That's what it's doing.
Well,
it's sending, signals to
As
kids.
a child, when I would hear that, I would actually go out and try to find a horse to beat.
Really?
And it was
Fascinating.
it was confusing because there weren't too many horses around, especially dead ones,
Right.
that I could find to beat on.
So did you ever feel like killing a horse so then you could beat that dead horse?
I considered it, but horses are big.
They are.
They are big, and they kick and they bite.
If only somebody was there to tell you to feed that fed horse.
Right.
Something like that.
It really could have changed my life.
Huh.
And I would not be
Did you
here
ever
today.
try to kill two birds with one stone? Did you ever do that?
No, that just seemed like an unattainable goal, really, because how do
You kill two birds with one stone.
Unless they are on top of each other or perhaps right behind each. But even then, the glancing of the rock off the head of
very
the first one,
difficult.
and you do have to hit them in the head because otherwise it just bounces off their
Well,
feathers.
here's what I would do. I would capture them first and then bludgeon them with the
what-
same stone.
Oh, that's a good
See,
point.
you're assuming you were catching them with the stone
That's a
and not
good
just
point.
killing them with the stone.
So if you did get them together, maybe
Right.
held them in one hand and took a larger fist-sized rock.
the phrase
and just-
didn't say with one hit of that
Oh,
stone.
that is...
So the stone I've
That's a good
used to kill
point.
many, many birds over the years. Many, just bludgeoning them over and over again.
I've been chasing down the
Right.
wrong... All this time I was thinking it
Yep.
had to be at this with the same
No, you made an
throw,
assumption there, Brad.
and I could
You made
have
a big
crushed their little
assumption.
skulls.
That's right.
With oh man,
Right. And what I like to do is hit them once or twice, just a little bit, so it doesn't fully kill them. And then you see like their eyes kind of like
yes.
get all,
and
they get
they
all,
wonder. You can see that it's the
Right.
It's a look of terror in their eyes, really. that
yeah,
gets
it's
you.
terror, then confusion.
Yes.
And then just kind of
And
the
then-
crazy Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sort of look. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's what you get at the end, right there.
Teaching students to use animal-friendly language, PETA says, can cultivate positive relationships between all beings and help end the epidemic of youth violence towards animals. You know that epidemic
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely. The no, I don't. What epidemic?
of youth violence towards animals.
You see, the ones who are mean to animals, those are what we call the crazy. This is how we find crazy people, you can always tell.
Right, that's an opportunity.
Otherwise, how would we know that they're going to be nuts when they grow up?
Wow.
Just saying.
I would say that this story right here would be a perfect one to bring up at family gatherings, especially around the holidays.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's the reason, usually before long holiday weekends, I'll give you the conversation starters or stoppers, some things to just stick it to people or some things to just avoid these conversations, depending upon what you're looking for here. So this would be a good one to bring up. If you want to trigger somebody, and it's a natural way into it because somebody is going to use meat-based language.
Yeah, they are.
And then you go, whoa, hold it. Was that meat-based language you just used?
And meat is murder.
That's right. It's actually violence, Brad.
It's violence and murder. It's really bad.
I would think that would be if you're thinking, oh my gosh, Doc, you're right, that would be good to use. You're probably perfect for the Right On game.
Yes.
At rightongame.com.
I would think that you would be, because this is a game that'll trigger the left. And here's our idea, that you get this game, and then because everybody has in their family or in their, the extended family, somebody that's going to be kind of crazy on the left.
Yes, that's right.
Or at least leaning that way.
And remember, mocking the left feels so right.
Yes, it does. I see what you did there, and what the Right On game did there. If you get this game and then just bust it out at Christmas time, hey, let's play a game. It's called the Right On game, and everybody think, hey man, it's going to be
right
fun.
On.
It's right on.
Jimmy Walker.
And
right on.
It's,
Dynamite.
Dynamite. And then
it's
you
a
start
different type of right on.
It is kind of, but you start playing this game and just have the camera going, because I think we are going to be able to do some sort of a prize for the best video.
Oh yeah. We'll do some sort of. So get the game.
Yep.
Order a couple copies. Play it around the holidays, and then
watch
record
their face. Watch the face of the person who's on the left, because they're going to get it somewhere in the middle of the game.
RightOnGame.com. Use the promo code MoJo50 to get 10% off. RightOnGame.com. Promo code MoJo50 and record it as you play it, because there could be a prize down the road. I shudder to think what kind of amazing videos people will come up with.
Absolutely, me too. It's the Right On. It's the Right On game. It's It's Right On Game.
Right On Game.
Right. That's what I said. Right On. RightOnGame.com.
I'm Mike Opelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill. I was listening to Hillary Clinton and John Kerry on separate occasions talking about the migration problem in Europe and how European countries need to get a hold of their migration and deal with it because it's causing problems. And then I heard a European minister talking about a new law about European migration. And in this new law would be a provision that would criminalize speaking out against migration. In fact, they would make it a crime that could lock you behind bars if you were caught speaking against migration. And if you were a media outlet, they could shut you down. Don't believe me? Listen.
And one basic element of this new agreement is the extension of the definition of hate speech. The agreement wants to criminalize migration speech. Criticism of migration will become a criminal offense. And media outlets, and that also concerns you, that give room to criticism of migration can be shut down.
So Fox News would be totally screwed. But on the other hand, if this law came to America, Hillary Clinton and John Kerry and just about everyone else with a D after their names would be locked up. A boy can dream, can't he? Testudo,
Mike Opelka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com. Huh. It's not right there. Hey, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on MoJo 50. Communiques coming in now all across the social media spectrum. Get them into us. In case we didn't lay it out, when you play the Right On game at rightongame.com, make a video because there could be fantastic prizes coming.
Yeah,
Or
and the reactions of people when they start and when they finally figure out what the game is, they're going to be priceless reactions. I promise you that.
So just plan your schemes now.
I'm just trying to figure out what writing baloney has to do with anything. That's what Liberty Hoosier J. Something about writing. Why would you want to ride baloney?
So that's how it is at his house.
Huh. So anyway, I have no idea what that is, but something about considering asparagus instead of bologna. Stinky said that a nice set of melons does have its appeal. As opposed to meat. I mean,
that had levels right there.
Yeah, oh yeah, it did. I mean, who doesn't? You get yourself a nice set of melons, and I mean, you have to thump them to make sure that they're ripe because you don't want to get the unripe melons.
Do you go for the everyday melons, or do you try something exotic? Do you use your standard grocery store, your cantaloupe, your honeydew, your muskmelon, or do you do something like those kind of weird ones?
I like the weird
like
ones.
a muskmelon.
I do
try
like
a muskmelon.
Yeah, those are a little
musky.
Yeah, a little too musky.
Because I got to be honest, although your normal everyday grocery store Kroger melon are good, fantastic.
They are.
Exotic melons do have a certain appeal. It's
yes, they
different.
do.
It's like a forbidden fruit almost.
Yes, it is.
It's harder
it
to
is.
come by,
and they're quite tasty. If you get a hold of the right set, they're very, very tasty. I highly recommend them.
Here's the thing, though. I get bored with melons pretty quick.
Oh, you just then haven't seen. I mean, tasted the right melons.
No. Fantastic.
Right.
But I'm looking for something more. It's not sustainable. There are some people that can make a meal out of melons.
That's true.
It's just all melon.
True.
And hey, that's fine. That's you. We all have our,
But see that, and I think it just proved the point that you do need to add a meat side dish when you start off with the fruit like that. You're going to need some meat later.
Because it's like this for me. It's like okay. Sometimes have you been out to a bar or restaurant and you've had appetizers for a meal?
Yes.
And you're like, wow, that was good.
Really good.
That's great. But how often? Isn't it normally you get an appetizer,
right?
Something there, and it's great. And you're like, now, bring on the steak.
Yeah.
Bring on the meat.
That's true.
Bring on the entree. Right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about melon.
It primes your appetite, really. It does.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Fantastic.
Oh, I love melon.
However,
love them.
After a while,
I think it's the variety. I think you're right.
Get on with the show.
It's
let's try. Let's get out with the encore or the entree.
I cannot argue with that. TJ Toppin says kill a bird with the stone and then pick it up and kill another one with the stone.
It's still killing two birds with a stone.
See, and that, I want to thank you both because all of this time, my entire life was under the false impression that I had to be accurate on a single throw with one stone.
Not at all. Not at all. Huh. And now moving forward. In fact, I'm going to venture a guess. You may have already killed multiple birds with that one stone. It's possible, right?
It is possible. It is absolutely possible.
I know this. I know that you've likely killed multiple animals with one hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you're killing like the neighbors' pets all the time.
Oh, yeah.
They wander into the yard. I mean, how do you stop them?
What else do you do after 11 o'clock at night?
Right, exactly. You're up, you're wandering around.
Watch TV, waste that kind of time.
Seen all that. Let's be productive here. Let's shut the neighbor's dog up.
Paul Gove over on Facebook brought up a very good point. Exotic melons do get expensive. He said last time he had exotic melons, they were like $20.
Well, yeah, because you're talking shipping and importing. It's I mean, it's not like they're grown by your neighbor.
No.
You don't just go over to your neighbor's farm and get the exotic melons. Generally, you're going to get the same stuff, and that's the reason they're cheaper. They're mass produced, so to speak.
I was in Dominican.
If they're common, they're probably going to be a little cheaper.
Well,
supply and demand.
I was in Dominican Republic and had fabulous. I mean, I don't know what kind they were, but they were fabulous.
Really?
Melons. Yes. And
this is the Dominican?
Yeah. They were $20.
Huh.
I do remember that. That was, I mean, they were tasty.
Here's the thing. You go to someplace else, those are the common melons.
Yeah, to the locals there, yeah.
Right. So by the time you pay the extra price for getting exotic melons here, go somewhere else. That's run-of-the-mill melons.
Yeah. No, I see it's...
Oh my gosh! we don't want to get too philosophical here, but
that's really...
I just realized maybe we don't appreciate the melons we have here enough. That's because they're common.
That's called being human, though. I think that every now and then you need a wake-up call like this to get you to appreciate the melons that are closer to home. And there are, I mean, if you think it doesn't have to be the melons you just have in your house right now, you can go to the store and grab some other melons, and just have. A melon.
So there's a little. The grass is always greener.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. By the way, Kathy in the Berg, and I do agree with you that you cannot have your pudding if you don't eat your meat. So that is one downside.
How can you have your pudding?
If you don't eat your meat.
Hey, let's move on to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh yes,
the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know if you know this, but she is nuts.
I've heard those rumors. I'm still waiting for proof.
I think I can offer some here.
Okay.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez fancies herself an intellectual, and she has all the answers.
Yes,
except she has no answers.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
She is the master of broad wish-like plans. That as a legislator, oh my gosh, she's going to be a legislator in the United States Congress.
I love this country.
Wow.
I love this country.
Holy crap, that just hit me.
Yes, she's going to be making laws or creating them.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is going to be one of 435 representatives in the United States Congress.
Is this a great time to be alive or what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That really just hit me.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Anyways, she is she's stupid. She is.
Is she stupid or is she ignorant? There's a difference.
I think she's stupid.
Okay, I'll agree with you.
Because here's the thing: ignorant people have tried to point out ignorance means you're
unaware.
You're unaware. You don't have all the facts, type of thing.
But she went to college.
She went to college, and by the way, people have tried to point out the facts, and she refuses to understand.
Yes.
That's just stupid.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe a little crazy. I'll let you work out the percentages of ignorance, stupid, and crazy. Probably all of them. Off the top of my head, I'm saying she is 10% unaware, meaning ignorant,
right,
without knowledge. Probably about 60% stupid.
Yeah,
is that about right?
I think you're probably right.
And then about 30% just crazy. Then,
yeah. I can't disagree.
That's right there.
I think so.
So she was being interviewed by Jake Tapper because CNN is safe.
Tapper.
I hardly even know her. CNN is really safe, though. Right? They're progressives there. And Jake Tapper is, in the mainstream media, the leftist mainstream media, better than most of them.
Right.
He tries to hold people accountable, but he's still leftist there, whatever.
Yeah.
And he asks her about her new budget plan. She has a budget, all the things she wants. It's actually her plans and then how that would fit in the budget. She's laid out all kinds of things, free health care, all of this stuff. He questions her on that. Here we go. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Your platform has called for various new programs, including Medicare for all, housing as a federal right, a federal jobs guarantee, tuition-free public college, canceling all student loan debt. According to nonpartisan and left-leaning studies friendly to your cause, including the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities or the Tax Policy Center, the overall price tag is more than $40 trillion in the next decade. You recently said in an interview that increasing taxes on the very wealthy plus an increased corporate tax rate would make $2 trillion over the next 10 years. So where's the other $38 trillion going to come from?
So all of the stuff she's laid out there would cost about $40 trillion. Medicare for all, jobs guarantee, student loan forgiveness, free college, paid family leave, Social Security expansion, all of that. The left-leaning organizations have said it's $40 trillion.
Right.
Okay, that means they could be off. It could be much, much worse. It could end up
fairness, it could be less. It could be less by a couple.
Well, I would think if left-leaning, it's probably going to be, they're giving her the benefit of the doubt, right? They're trying to help clean it up. But anyways, $40 trillion, okay, over 10 years. That would be about, on average, $4 trillion a year. Our national debt right now is around $21 trillion.
Right.
So all of the overspending that we have not paid in our 240 plus years of existence that got doubled under Obama, basically, at $21 trillion in 200. Her new ideas in total, at best, would only be 40 additional trillion that we've got to come up with on top of everything else. So,
and remember,
put it in perspective.
$21 trillion is only a million billions. So it's not that much. When you think of it that way, it's not that much. It's only a million billions.
Yeah, that's not that.
It's not that much, really. But the annual budget for 2019.
Yeah, what do we usually spend a year? It's actually not a budget. We just spend.
Yeah, right,
so what do we normally spend?
Fiscal 2019 is going to be $4.4 trillion.
So, and it's usually around $4 to $4.5 trillion. and we overspend and so on and so forth. So her plan, her plan is on top of everything else we spend at about $4 to $4.5 trillion.
Right.
And this would average about 4. So she's really talking about every year over the next 10 years. That doesn't include every year of spending after, which would continue, would double the federal expenses.
Yeah.
And we're already at about $500 billion to $1 trillion in overspending a year.
Yeah.
And yet you would do it. So we would then, according to her, have around $5 trillion in additional expenses every year that we cannot budget for.
Right. Yeah. Seems about right. Yep.
So that would actually add about $50 trillion to the national debt in 10 years.
You keep saying it like it's a bad thing, and I don't know what the bad
I'm
part
just
is.
laying it out. So there you go.
Right.
So with all that, Jake Tapper says, where are you getting the extra money if you're not just going to add that to the debt? Here we go.
Where's the other $38 trillion going to come from?
Well, one of the things that we need to realize when we look at something like Medicare for All would save the American people a very large amount of money. And what we see as well is that these systems are not just pie in the sky. Many of them are accomplished by every modern civilized democracy in the Western world. The United Kingdom has a form of single-payer health care. Canada, France, Germany.
Her answer was what?
Well, I do want to point out one thing that she did bring up a very nice non-meat-based metaphor. It's not pie in the sky.
You're right. That's right. Well, we don't know. It could be a meat pie.
That does sound yummy right now.
I wish she would have said it's not fruit pie in the sky or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. But
so how do we pay for it, right? And how are we going to do that or whatever? All right, just let me hear that piece again there. So let me
come from.
Well, one of the things that we need to realize when we look at something like Medicare for All would save the American people a very large amount of money. And what we
it's like she's trying to tell me something. It's like she's trying to communicate.
She really is.
What's that?
Timmy's in the well.
What's that? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
Timmy fell down. He tripped over his shoelace and fell into the well.
I'm trying to understand. So where does the extra $38 trillion come from over the next 10 years?
Pie.
You've got to realize it'll save people money.
Yes, it's pie. It's just pie.
Where do we get the $38 trillion? It'll save people money. Is this the same formula that my wife uses when she tells me how much money she spent, how much money she saved when she spent $300 at the store?
Exactly.
I bought this and this and this, and it was $378. I saved money.
Yes, but by shopping on sale, she saved $200. So you're $200 in the black.
I don't even think that applies here, does it?
It's pie. I don't know why you'd understand. It's pie.
It's going to save us
Yes.
money. All right. How?
Well, is that these systems are not just pie in the sky. Many of them are accomplished by every modern civilized democracy in the West.
Quick little modern civilized democracy. Do you call France civilized the last couple days?
They don't shave their armpits.
Yeah, that's not civil. What are you talking? I'm not sure she does. And by the way, democracy, every other democracy, she's one of 435 in the House now, a legislator in Congress, one other democracy, other.
It's not pie. I don't know why you
are not a democracy.
It's pie.
Oh, okay. But, okay, she wants to use France and the UK and Canada as examples. Obviously not having done her homework. They've accomplished this, really? And what have they gotten for their money? I have said this since Obamacare was first a discussion, actually predating that. One day, a young, wet behind the ears Doc Thompson is doing his little research on the internet about healthcare. I started looking up healthcare, and I noticed a story out of the UK. Their NHS, National Health System.
Right.
And I noticed it was not favorable. It was a current news story at the time from the UK, and it was talking about fraud, waste, corruption, lack of financing for the system. And I was like, wow, how timely. We're talking about Obamacare and that, and they keep using the UK, and there's a story. And then I did some more research, and I realized there were several stories out about their failures at that moment. I was like, wow. And I looked at Canada at that moment. At any moment, you can do research, and within a couple of weeks of when you're doing that, there is a story about the system, whether it's France, England, Canada, failing.
Yes.
Literally every week or two.
Yes. Yeah, they're not bringing in enough money to pay for the stuff that they're doing.
And there it is. Yeah. But they get it done. So she still had to mention the 38 trillion. Here we go.
World. The United Kingdom has a form of single-payer health care. Canada, France, Germany. What we need to realize is that these investments are better.
It's an investment.
Of course it is.
Again, still, where are we getting the 38 trillion to invest? Where are we?
They are good for our future. These are generational investments so that they're not short-term Band-Aids, but they are really profound decisions about.
Those sound like just bullet points, like talking points.
You know, I tried a short-term Band-Aid.
How did that work out?
It didn't work out in the long run, and that's, I think, why we need to look at this as a
long-run Band-Aid or a long-term Band-Aid.
We really do need more of a long-term, long-running Band-Aid to fix the problems that plague the issues that are surrounding these concerns that we have.
I would prefer you use short-term and long-term adhesive gauze.
Okay, yeah, that's true because Band-Aid is technically a brand name.
And she wants to get in bed with that big company, corporate America.
It's horrible
Please.
to think that. No.
Next thing she'll be using meat-based language or something like that. All right.
Who we want to be as a nation and how we want to act as the wealthiest nation in the history of the world.
Right now,
I want to act silly. I want to act silly as the wealthiest nation in the world.
So her argument, where do you get the 38 trillion? As best I can come up with is, it's an investment. Everybody else does it.
Yes.
We should just do it.
And it's not pie.
And we will save money. And it's not pie.
It's not pie.
Okay, so the best I can give her, I'm really trying to understand here. What's that, Timmy's in the well? Is we should just do it regardless of the money. I don't know how you do it if you don't have it, but okay. Number two, it will save us money. Does she mean, giving her the benefit of the doubt, that you and I will save money by giving the money to the state in taxes versus paying doctors that money?
I'm not sure if that's what she said as much as what I got from it is that, and honestly, I can understand where she got this. We don't pay for anything else. The answer is we don't pay for anything else.
So if it's... You'll save, her argument, you'll save money. I guess she means you're going to, listen, you're going to pay the state, so you're actually going to save money because you won't have to pay the doctor. Okay. Where do you get the 38 trillion? You see what I'm saying? If my suggestion was, we need, $38 trillion, someone said it was 38 trillion, and I say, just take it from somewhere else. You didn't increase by $38 trillion.
No. You should take it from some other thing that we're not paying for either.
This is crazy. Okay. So not everybody can afford healthcare right now. That's the whole point. And healthcare is too expensive.
Correct.
So her plan is, if we had $38 trillion, we can fix it over here. And where do you get that $38 trillion? From the money we currently spend. Even if you got an outrageously unbelievable savings, are you going to save $38 trillion? This is the idea of taking a failing company that does not have enough subscribers and supporters,
like Newsweek,
and putting it with another one, like Newsweek, right? And putting it with another one, and suddenly think you're going to do amazing things, even though you have not increased the pool that you can draw from.
Right. Yes. That's...
Wow.
Yes.
I think her plan would fail in like 14 months.
That's absolutely possible, but remember, we're also living in the age of, was there anyone there to see it happen?
Brad, that's the real problem with her little socialist pie in the sky, starry-eyed dreamers. This will be a great YouTube.
It's not pie.
Sorry. Is that they don't know. This is one of those, to paraphrase Reagan in his 1964 Time for Choosing speech, the problem with our friends on the left is they just know so many things that aren't true.
And remember, we're in the age where literally no longer means literally.
Brad, she was born at a time she doesn't even remember the Cold War.
It was cold. She knows that.
Right. It was freezing.
It was
at times.
very cold.
I grew up in Cleveland. There were blizzards, right? Does that was that called global war?
No, that was back when we were headed for another ice age.
Oh, okay.
So it was very cold.
Brett, she doesn't remember that. You don't understand the problem with these, and she's alive at a time where in public schools and in the mainstream media, they have pushed the idea that socialism is amazing and you never hear about the failures when it comes to Venezuela, for example. They explain that, we're going to do it different this time. This time it'll be different.
That's what
this time
they believe.
It'll be great once we merge with another company.
Yes.
It'll solve all the problems.
Things will be better in the new building.
It'll be fantastic, right? That solves the problems.
Yes, absolutely.
No, sometimes you just put bad together with bad. It doesn't make a good then. Sorry.
You end up with a bigger pile of bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So, to Jake Tapper's credit, he actually says, you didn't answer about the $38 trillion.
Nope.
A failure of his is to ask that question, and it takes him 3 minutes or so to get to. It was a long, long question. Right. And all that did was give her a chance to come up with a new line of BS as opposed to just saying, hey, you didn't answer about the $38 trillion. Here we go.
I get that, but the price tag for everything that you've laid out in your campaign is $40 trillion over the next 10 years. I understand that Medicare for All would cost more to some wealthier people and to the government and to taxpayers while also reducing individual health care expenditures. But I'm talking about the overall package. You say it's not pie in the sky, but $40 trillion is quite a bit of money. And the taxes that you talked about raising to pay for this, to pay for your agenda, only count for two.
So
and
many words.
We're going by
So
left-leaning analysts.
Right. Well, when you look again at how our healthcare works.
Can I mention that, by the way? The reason I say that about asking the quick question, there's a little radio trick for you. I'll let you see behind the scenes here a bit. If you want to be more pointed in your question and even kind of gotcha at times, you don't set up the question that way. You just say, boom, just as quick as you can, because then they don't have time to think of an answer.
Right.
If they even add a couple of words to it, you get that extra second to go, He could have just said, because he had a long setup to the first question.
Yeah, he did.
Without it even being got you, just said, and this is how you'd know she was really on, you didn't answer about the $38 trillion. Or, what about the $38 trillion? You didn't answer the question.
Right. But he gave her enough time to think. And in the first part of her answer, did she even talk about taxes? I don't remember her doing
that. She said savings, basically.
Okay, but she didn't specifically say, she didn't use the, I don't think she used the word.
So.
So he went back, he took her answer and actually made it make sense to a certain degree.
Right.
So he rephrased her answer for her while asking the next part of the question.
And maybe he did what I was doing, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Oh,
but okay.
Absolutely, he was helping her out.
And to his credit, he at least asked her again about the $38 trillion.
Yes.
Here's what she says.
Analysts.
Right. Well, when you look again at how our healthcare works, currently we pay much of these costs go into the private sector. So what we see is, for example, a year ago I was working downtown in a restaurant.
So again, she's saying that goes in the private sector. Like I said, we're going to take it out of the private sector, put it into the public sector healthcare. But again, it's still going to cost you $40 trillion or $38 trillion, whatever it was, dollars. Even with the savings, how much of a savings? You're going to save $38 trillion by moving into government? It's not been my experience that when things are run by the government, they become cheaper. If in total you add everything up and say expenses and what the government and waste and all this stuff, it is not cheaper. It is usually more expensive.
You're saying that hammers shouldn't cost $700?
I went around and I asked how many of you folks have health insurance. Not a single person did.
So here's her research. When she was working at the restaurant, one day she did some research. And she went around the restaurant and asked people how many of them had health insurance.
Who doesn't do that?
I mean, who needs a polling service, right? Come on.
I was working downtown in a restaurant. I went around and I asked how many of you folks have health insurance. Not a single person did, because they would have had to have paid $200 a month for a payment for.
Your thoughts, Brad?
Wow, tell me what insurance company, because I'd like that. I would switch to $200 a month in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was
That's a damn good deal.
Wow, they had to pay a whopping $200 a month.
She is so cute. She's
Can you believe that? $200 a month for their health care.
Wow.
Yeah, Brad, I pay more than $200 a month.
Yes, so do I. I haven't paid $200. I'm trying to think of when insurance was $200 a month.
I'm trying to think what the average person, I would be willing to bet most families pay close to $200 a week.
Oh, easily. Let's see.
Because let's say a lot of families, if you go through your place of business, you'll pay an additional, like $350 a check if it's twice a month. Is that about right? Something like that?
Something like that.
300. So, yeah, it's a lot closer, probably $200 a week.
If what website is this? The Value Penguin. The average cost they're saying in Alaska is $426, in Alabama is age 21 health insurance.
And that's age 21.
Yeah,
that's without a family. But oh wow, okay. Anyway, sorry.
Would have had to have paid $200 a month for a payment. Because they would have had to have paid $200 a month for a payment for insurance that had an $8,000 deductible. What these represent are lower costs overall for these programs. And additionally, what this is a broader agenda. We do know and we acknowledge that there are political realities. They don't always happen with
political realities. No. Financial, fiscal realities is what we're talking about.
And this is a broader agenda.
Yeah. Okay. The broader agenda is what? We don't care about money?
Okay. But we can work to make these things happen. And in fact, when you look at the economic activity that it spurs, for example, if you look at my generation, millennials, the amount of economic activity that we do not engage in, the fact that we delay purchase.
So there's the other angle then. She's saying it would spur the economy if we had the government pay for all these things. The economy would do better if we took it out of the private sector, which is free market and really runs the economy, and put it into the government sector, which doesn't spur as much economic growth.
This is giving me a headache.
Again, this still doesn't answer the question.
No.
And finally, Jake Tapper at the end just says, so apparently you're not going to actually answer the question, right?
No.
Unprecedented amounts of student loan debt.
I'm assuming I'm not going to get an answer for the other $38 trillion, but we'll have you back and maybe we can go over that.
At least he said that much.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It's the public's chance to bid farewell to our 41st president. George H.W. Bush's body lies in state in the Capitol Rotunda. The public viewing to continue until tomorrow's state funeral at Washington National Cathedral. Last evening, President and Mrs. Trump went to the Capitol, paying their respects to Mr. Bush.
The President and First Lady did not attend a late afternoon service at the U.S. Capitol when Bush was eulogized by Vice President Pence, among others. But in the evening, the first couple went to the Capitol Rotunda, where the nation's 41st president is lying in state. Only the sound of clicking cameras could be heard as the Trumps stood quietly in front of the casket with their eyes closed for a few moments. Then, after President Trump saluted the casket, they returned to the White House. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Well, apparently French President Macron has blinked in the face of violent protests in Paris. His government expected to announce it is suspending plans for a fuel tax hike come January 1st.
Prime Minister Edouard Philippe will this morning hold a meeting with parliamentary deputies from President Macron's République En Marche party, and then we're told there'll be an announcement, the main point of which will be the suspension of next month's planned rise in fuel taxes. After the riots in Paris on Saturday, there's been huge pressure on President Macron to climb down on this issue, and it seems he has.
That's a BBC's Hugh Schofield in Paris. A rally in oil prices after a 2-month slide, indicating that traders are confident that OPEC and its allies, including Russia, will agree to production cuts. Representatives of the oil-producing nations will hold a highly anticipated meeting tomorrow in Vienna. Following yesterday's rally, stock futures in the red this morning on Wall Street. Right now, Dow futures are down 80 points. S&P futures off 8.5 points.
And now,
more on these stories at townhall.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's DIA Thrive.com.
Hey guys, Ron Phillips with the Conservative Cartel. Are you tired of the bar scene, hoping to find the love of your life? Well, there is a better way for you single guys and ladies out there. Check out WeThePeople.dating. They make it easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out WeThePeople.dating for the love of people and people of love. Sign up and start dating today. WeThePeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is Tim Barton from Wall Builders with another moment from American history. Many today assert that religion is something private, that it has no place in the public square, and that it is incompatible with government. But the Founding Fathers believed exactly the opposite. They held that religion was absolutely necessary in order to maintain our free system of government. For example, John Adams declared, "We have no government armed with power, capable of contending with human passions unbridled by morality and religion." And signer of the Declaration, Benjamin Rush, similarly affirmed, "Without religion, there can be no virtue, and without virtue, there can be no liberty, and liberty is the object and life of all Republican governments." The Founding Fathers understood that limited government required public morality from the people, and that public morality was produced by the Christian religion. For more information about the Founding Fathers' views on religion and public life, go to wallbuilders.com.
Ship has landed.
And things are getting sweaty.
And moist.
Moist and sweaty. Hey there, it's Doc Thompson and Brad Staggs on your Daily Mojo. My Mojo's right at a 5-0 right now.
Oh, yeah.
So we did have some big happenings going on with our fledgling little broadcast company. Broadcast media company. Are we a media?
We are.
MoJo Media? Is that our parent company?
What are we? Yeah. We do stuff. We do stuff. Yeah, we should do movies.
Media sounds. When you put media with it, it makes you sound more sophisticated.
It does. It does. It's
not so clown-like. It does kind of class the joint up a bit.
Media. We're more mixed media.
Ooh.
We use, yes.
Is it a diversity thing?
No, that's just where
we're
you use
really
oil
diverse?
and watercolors and stuff. That's mixed media.
I thought that was mixed medium.
Well, medium, the plural of medium is media, isn't it?
That really does class the bitch up a bit, right? I'm going to add media to it.
Yes.
MoJo 50 Media.
Mixed. Put mixed in there, I'm telling
Mixed media.
Mixed media. Mixed up media.
That sounds like interracial dating or something.
What's wrong with that?
Mixed.
Come on.
Can't have that.
Come on. You want some exotic, you want a little something? Let's mix it up.
I think we got to keep the races pure. I think we've learned that, right? Well, we'll keep working it out. If you have any suggestions, let us know all across the social media platforms there, how we can class it up a little bit. Just kind of spitball in there. But we did have some interesting news yesterday. Actually, a pretty big step. We are now live streaming each and every day on iHeart, which what's his name? Ron. Hey, I have a question about iHeart. So iHeart has, just all kinds of amazing music channels and everything else, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to talk and spoken word platforms like this, we are one of the few that are not a terrestrial station as well.
That's correct. We're a completely digital platform, and there's not
only
a ton of them
right?
out there. What's that?
So, yeah, most talk or spoken word formats.
Our terrestrial AM, FM stations.
Okay,
Correct.
which is fine. That's great for what they are. I worked at terrestrial for years, but those stations carry a crap load of commercials quite often.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
And that's fine. Like you said, they have a place in the world because they are often local.
And remember, we would too if people would advertise.
You're not supposed to say that.
Sorry, I erased that last part.
That's right. We are sticking to a very limited number of commercial, and that limit is
whatever we can
amount we
cram
can
in
sell and cram in there to
before
make a bunch of
starts
crap.
bitching about it.
That's what we're about here at MoJo Media.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, the good thing is that's not what it is. I mean,
No,
we're really giving the listener something special here.
Oh, shut up.
I believe we are. You think about it, though. They get to hear
What a load
your
of
mouth.
crap.
Right, for a lot.
For 52 minutes an hour.
So just to be clear, I do think you're right. We do have something special going on, but when you say special, you don't mean like the
No, not that
special.
kind of
You
special.
mean
not window looking short bus special.
A lot of content is what I
special.
mean. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And we say Dick now and then.
And you say Dick now
like
and then.
Dick Blumenthal.
That's right.
Dick Durbin.
Yeah.
Right. We
Why
talk
is he
about
so
those
shiny?
cats. Why is Dick Blumenthal so shiny?
I don't know.
The guy's walking around. You got this Dick on Capitol Hill walking around, and he's all shiny, and nobody else says.
I don't
You know
know.
what
Every
I've
other
always
Dick
wanted
here
to
on
do?
Capitol Hill's not shiny. Why is that Dick?
I've always wanted to ask
Careful.
my friend Richard Johnson if he had a real big problem going through school.
Maybe. Was he shiny? Anyway, so live on iHeart. And yesterday was the inaugural show for Brandon Morse.
Yes, it was.
Fantastic.
Really
show.
hating that guy.
He is.
I am really hating him.
You know, if he works hard, he could be mediocre. He really could.
If he
could get
steps up his
if
game
he
a little?
steps it up just a smidge, he could.
You know, I had a lot of people ask me what his logo had on it.
Oh, did it? Because he's the Morse code logo?
Yeah, in the
Spells
chat room,
dick.
they were going like, wonder what that says. That's got
the
to say
shiny
something.
dick, if you look at
Shiny.
it. It's
Yes,
the number
it
of
is.
characters.
Shiny dick.
Yeah. So, no, here's the thing. Actually, it might be. It'd actually work out that way, the number of letters. As I hear Brandon, years ago, I said to a friend of mine in this broadcast business, hey, you got to make this guy a radio guy. The history of writing and, text and print media, and he's good when he does these shows, but I'm telling you, this guy can do radio. You just got to school him a little bit and train him. And that never happened.
Right.
This friend of mine, whatever the reason. And I'm like, I'm telling you, this guy can do this. And I've always thought, got to work with Brandon in that capacity. So we launched this platform, get him to do the show. And I was like, hey, listen, you go and do the show. Here's some basic parameters. Because I've been in radio a long time. This is the pitfall. This is whatever. And I expected when I heard him that I would go, okay, good. It's a good first day.
Right.
I'll have to coach him on a couple. That son of a biscuit eater.
Mm-hmm.
He comes off and I was like, what the hell is this?
It's like
That
he
would
went
have
to
been
training.
I know.
He nailed it
Has
yesterday.
he been like going secretly like 10 years of broadcasting in his basement or something like this?
He's been practicing.
He carried
that
a
guy.
full 52 minutes yesterday without a hiccup.
I'd like to compare
very
that
nice.
with my first couple of talk radio shows. See how that goes. If not for that fire of 2004,
I
I'd
think I'm
probably
going to
be able
bring
to do
Matt
that. so.
Locke's his first couple of episodes up here.
I was
It is the first time you sit in one of these chairs and you have an hour to fill. It is.
Well, especially
not only that, Brad, he had an hour to fill,
There it
and he
is.
was on camera.
Right. On camera.
Wait,
And
we have cameras in here.
when did that? Oh, they're the hidden ones. Don't tell them. They're the upskirt cameras. So, and again, as we said, this is an hour that you're on most of the hour. It's not like terrestrial where you're on for like
Maybe
35 minutes an hour or something like that. Yeah. Do you remember your first? Do you have any intertext of your first shows?
Oh yeah, the first show, the first talk. What I did was with filled in for Jeffy.
No, I mean any just even
Oh,
your
the
music
very
shows.
first
early
yeah.
music. We got to
Yeah,
bring
I've
some.
got-
Do you have some back in the day?
I do.
We got.
I
Okay,
found
we
it
got
the
to do
other
that.
day, actually.
All right, here's what we're going to do in the near future. We'll get everybody to submit some. We'll play some of these on the air. I don't know what it was, but
We're gonna have to find a cassette player.
Yes,
yeah,
we
for that.
do. Yeah, for
mine as well. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have my. I wish I had my ones in little radio school. For some reason, you guys know me off the air. I'm loud, gregarious.
I wouldn't. Well,
All right, I have a pretty loud voice to begin with and a loud personality. But for some reason, my first radio broadcasts were like this. Hey, how are you? I want to talk. Hi, just whisper. I just want to.
well, you don't allow us to speak to you when we're not in here, so I don't understand how exactly.
You're not allowed to look at me either, but I thought you've overheard conversations at times. You're eavesdropping.
have.
I remember at radio school, we had some liner I had to read, like, this is the hot rockin' flamethrower slap your mama big station. It was something like that, right? And I was like this. This is the hot rockin'.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the days.
PD screaming down the hallway, get him off the air.
That was it. I had a program director, and I've got to call and thank him. Mike Anthony, love the guy to pieces. Actually, we got to call and get him. He is the meanest, most sarcastic a-hole you'll ever meet, and I love him.
Mike, yeah, that's a radio. His last name was really Hunt, wasn't it?
No. It's actually, I think it was Mike Anthony. Mike had this, crap. I mean, that was everything he said was like that. And he goes, listen to me. Oh, and he hires me. I'm doing top 40 nights, which is like the most up format and shift ever, right?
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, we got this. He's like, listen, I want you to go in there, and I want you to be more upbeat. I don't care if you have to effing scream or what, but I want you more upbeat every break than the break before that, night after night, until I come to you and say, you're over the top now. And until that happens, you're not up-tempo enough. And I was like, okay. And literally, he'd be like, I told you to make it. And this went on for weeks till finally, at the end, I'm like, God, like this, screaming. And he just let me suffer there, like literally screaming for about 2 weeks. And then finally he's like, all right, kid, back it off just a touch. And the natural was I was upbeat. I don't know. It just sort of worked out that way.
Funny how that works. That's because program directors are a-holes.
They are. They absolutely are generally a-holes. God love them. All right, we got to move on here. I've been taking too much time here. CharityMagnets.com is waiting for you to check them out. CharityMagnets.com, where you can get charity magnets. Charity magnets are magnets that, and it's magnets, but it's a lot of different things. But not only
just magnets. Look at the keychain. How cool is that?
Well, let's talk about that. It would be charity
Well, it's
keychain.
right there on the front page when you go to charity
We're focusing
magnets.
on the magnets. When you go
but
there,
there's keychains.
don't buy the magnets.
Tags.
Just buy the.
Well, don't buy the dog tags either, then, because
just the magnets.
Are they selling the puppy too?
No, I don't think so.
Does the puppy? If you buy a magnet, do you get a puppy?
You know what? I know the owner of the company. I think he probably would sell it to you.
A puppy.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
Actually, they have really cool stuff. They do have dog tags for your dog. And keychains, as you mentioned, magnets, whatever for your
Don't
keys.
mix them up, though. Don't put the keychain on the dog and the dog tag on your
Try
keychain.
starting your car with that dog.
Right.
Good luck.
You ever tried to stuff a dog into the keyhole?
It doesn't work. I've tried. Tried, but
that's a euphemism, by the way. It's $20.
CharityMagnets.com. It's a great company doing great work because they send a portion of their money to a good charity.
Cops for Kids with Cancer. And if you're going to buy, and look, you've got a list of people to buy for this Christmas. This is another great gift idea. This is what we do here. We give you ideas for Christmas and Hanukkah gifts. Let's not forget our Jewish friends.
Do you realize this should be the most successful company on the planet from a marketing standpoint?
Ours?
Charity Magnets.
Oh, Charity Magnets.
Think about this. Everybody loves magnets, right? They're very trendy and popular and you're kind of kitschy. Okay. So like, and it's for charity. So in the name, you got a good start. But then what else do you have? You have a dog on the website.
You got a puppy.
Right? So you got that. And then you've got, what is the charity? Cops for kids with cancer. Cops, kids, cancer, puppy dogs, charity, and magnets.
Oh, believe me. I mean, we know the owners.
If he had a bottle of beer on the page, and a naked woman, that's it.
No,
it is.
That's on page 2. If you turn well, there she is.
Doing great work and obviously smart people as well. It is CharityMagnets.com.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
These profound headlines, at least this portion of them, brought to you by CharityMagnets.com. The U.S. Postal Service will be suspending delivery tomorrow in President Bush's honor. Thought you'd enjoy that one.
Wait, what?
Yes, indeed. Or as we like to say, they're taking a day off.
Wow. Oh, my God. I don't know. All I can do is laugh. It is a great scam, and yet I'm pissed at them all at the same.
Yes, indeed.
Trump said National Day of Mourning. They went, a day off.
Yep, that's right.
Is that standard?
I've never heard of it before.
When presidents do other days of mourning, whether it's for a president's passing or anything else,
they certainly didn't do it when they remember the Vegas shooting. When their National Day of Mourning for that, they still delivered the mail that day.
Oh my God!
They took the president dying as a national holiday, I guess.
Yes, indeed. And they're going to suspend regular mail, retail services, and administrative office activity, which means ain't nobody going to be at the post office at all. It's the National Day of Mourning.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Wow, guys,
Oh, they're not even trading on the floor tomorrow.
Well,
I think they shut that down too.
Don't Wall Street though? They do that, don't they?
They may
When a
do
Wall Street
president-
shuts down for a
I've
lot
just
of
never
stuff.
heard the post office doing it.
Maybe they have. I just think, come on.
Out of respect for the 41st president of the United States and to honor his vast contributions to our country during his lifetime. And
Okay.
yes, I mean absolutely. But
I'm not laughing at his death
No,
or any of that
absolutely
stuff.
not.
It's just the post office pulling this crap. That's
Yeah, no, there is that.
again. What? So the country is going to shut down because the president orders just government offices. Here's
Right.
one of the failures of government. The rest of us, we got to get our asses up and go to work.
Yes, well, we don't have to. There's nobody holding a gun to our head.
True,
if-
but I mean, we don't get the day off paid
No,
and whatever.
absolutely
And I'm not
not.
suggesting the government should be able to mandate that. I'm just saying when millions of people work for government, whether
Right.
it's state, local, or federal,
Right.
and they, as part of unions and all this other stuff, get these, days off because the president, it's ridiculous.
But let's get back into the fact that is the Postal Service a government agency?
It is.
Sort of.
Sort of.
But not really.
It is the worst type of government agency.
It's the kind without any oversight.
It is the quasi-government agency, like
Yeah.
Fannie and Freddie back in the day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, yeah.
See, with the government agency, you get screwed, period. But you have a little bit of control. A quasi-government agency, you get all of the responsibility and none of the benefits.
Hey, y'all, watch this trigger. So it's the only place you can actually have I can't anywhere else go and say, will you deliver this across the country for 49 cents?
I am going to
this-
stab you with a penis butter muddy buddy.
Where else can you do that?
Oh, my God. You can't actually do it for that price.
That's right. This will make you feel a lot better. A 7-year-old boy who reviews toys has been revealed as YouTube's highest earning star. He makes in $22 million a year. He's 7.
Wow.
Forbes magazine found
Can we find out how he feels about co-presidencies? Because he's the only one doing this crap right.
Ryan of Ryan Toys Review. 500,000 for the 12 months, I guess, ending in June. Videos are posted most days. One promoting a blue giant mystery egg bearing Ryan's face has had more than 1 million views since Sunday.
He reviews toys.
He reviews toys.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Of all the things in this world that a kid would want to do, play
Right.
with toys, review toys, and make millions of dollars doing it.
Yeah, you know what? I had to take the garbage out for free. That's what I had to do. I had chores that I did for free. And sometimes I had to do chores with a slap.
Well,
that's what I got.
But he does have to pay taxes and fees charged by agents and lawyers.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, he wants to only walk away with $12 million a year.
The third place, earning YouTube channel was the Dude Perfect channel, and it only made $20 million a year.
You know, I think they're local. Aren't they here
To
in Dallas?
Texas, everything's there's more
Perfect.
crap
Those are the
based
guys
here.
that
And
shoot the basketballs from like a helicopter and hit the basket.
is that what it is?
Oh man, they're so good.
Wait a minute, it's like the video I sent you yesterday of the. Did you watch that?
Which one?
The bowling ball. They were throwing bowling balls off 165 foot tall dam.
That's not them, but yes,
But the
that's like
same
that.
same sort
Yeah.
of thing. If you'd watched it, you'd know they were
trying to hit that trampoline.
Yes,
Yes.
and they kept missing. And the bowling ball. Have you seen a bowling ball? What it does when it like hit the corner of the concrete?
It freaking shattered,
It
blew up.
Oh, it was amazing.
Sounded like a gunshot.
Now you may think that's a waste of time to watch.
No,
but remember, they're
Science.
making science, and in this case, $20 million a year.
If that chick, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, really wants us on board for socialism, these are the stories she needs to tell. Seriously.
Yes.
Because when I hear this, I'm like, okay, that kid's making too much money for doing nothing. That's where the free market suddenly, where you could get people to change.
Pisses you off, doesn't it? A 9-year-old in Colorado has finally gotten his town to end a ban on snowball fights.
Oh, he got him to end it.
He got
Why
him to
was
end-
there one?
In Severance, Colorado.
Witches or anything, they all consider all of those.
Yeah, those are all missiles.
Yeah. It's a projectile, they say, yeah.
But it took a 9-year-old to get them to...
and where was that?
It was in Severance, Colorado.
Severance, Colorado?
No, just Severance. And not Severin. Severance.
Oh, that right. It was Jay Severin, not Severance.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Did Matlock just walk in? Is he walking in?
You might want to explain what you did.
Is Matt here?
Matt?
What's he doing?
The lights. For those of you not watching but listening on radio, on iHeart, let's say, the lights in the offices outside the studio just came on.
How you doing there, buddy? You feeling good today?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think he really... You got to remember, his fingers were sticky when he came in. So...
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
By the way, good advice. Don't ever come out of the bathroom smelling your fingers, Matt.
All right, never mind.
Yeah. We'll explain that later, hopefully. In Atlantic City, and this one may require some explanation as well. Do you want to tell them what you did?
I may have put a gooey-like substance on the light switches.
Because when you walk into the offices here, it's very dark, and you have to until you
Matt
turn the
usually
lights.
turns them on,
Right,
so I gooeyed up the light switches for him. I mean, somebody may have put something gooey on the light switches this morning that he had to turn on.
By the way, don't put your fingers near your face now.
It may be queso.
It may not be. FanDuel is paying out bets on Alabama to win the title ahead of the game. This is a weird story. FanDuel Sportsbook paying out bets from people who picked Alabama to win the college football national championship.
Who's Colorado playing in the championship? Do we know who they playing?
I have no idea. Yo, Matt.
Who's Colorado? Who's playing in the national championship? It's Alabama and...
Well, you got it's a playoff, so it's Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Notre Dame.
Okay, so they're already paying off for...
They're paying off for anybody who bet on Alabama before the game is even played. Friday night, they said they're...
Why, is Alabama the shoe-in?
Alabama, it's them and everybody else.
But
they're already paying it off.
They're paying off the
win.
bets. Anybody who bet on Alabama, they're already getting paid off.
Wow.
I mean, that's how confident they are.
Wow.
It should be.
Now I so hope Alabama loses.
FanDuel says the move is going to cost them $400,000 if Alabama doesn't win the national championship.
Why would they do this?
I don't know. There's something...
They must be driving publicity to sell more tickets
It
or something
may
else,
be.
or so people knows the website. Because that would, for $400,000, that's the risk. That's a small price if you got a national story, how much coverage you're getting.
Well, and they just got 60 seconds here on MoJo 50, which normally costs in the area of $200,000 to $300,000.
$2 to $3.
$200 to $300?
No, just dollars.
Huh. They're going to have a lot of those to make up that money.
Mm-hmm. Although those prices are negotiable.
That's true. Before we take you know what? It's time to take a short break to talk about the sponsor of the next portion of headlines, which is TarRiverArms.com. If your arms are worn out,
I don't know.
If you just take a swim in the Tar River, if your arms are worn out, and it'll stick them back.
Tar River Arms has revolutionized online firearm purchases. What with their amazing high-definition pictures, their 3D imaging, their incredible prices, and the fact that you get the transfer fees to your local FFL just waived goodbye and free shipping.
And the naked women on their homepage.
They have revolutionized the entire thing. It's at TarRiverArms.com. Check them out today, TarRiverArms.com. Now, you'll get amazing savings on most guns or firearms you purchase. They do have some more difficult or hard to find items as well. You can find those and some pricier ones. You're still going to save gobs and gobs of money. You'll even save more, but those firearms start with a higher price point.
Yeah, the H&K we've been talking about for the past week or so, it is an amazing. You're going to save $300 on I think the original price. It's the SPK5, SP5K.
Look for it. You'll see. It's a beautiful gun.
There it is, the SP5K. It is stunning. It is a badass 9mm
We got to go try to fire one of those. That looks fun.
It really does. And you want to talk about triggering someone on the
I see what you did there. By the way, what's your favorite gun to fire?
My
couple favorite, just
my
fun.
favorite is my Smith & Wesson 38 Police Special.
I was going to say I do love the revolvers, man. That's
the one I shot the ceiling with.
And it
has a hair
And
trigger.
the other one is a pistol grip shotgun.
Yes, those are fun. Those are fun
because you feel like like some sort of like renegade cop, like Terminator or something.
It's not a tumor.
Right, because you got to put that thing down on your hip there, and you're just, those are fun.
At some point, you need to fire my...
oh, those are a little painful.
They do, well, yes.
That's going to hurt your hip there a little bit.
Yes, it is. You're
all right, go to tarriverarms.com. Back to the headlines.
It is Tuesday, December 4th, already 20 days until Christmas, and it's National Cookie Day.
Ooh, wow.
So get yourself a cookie and snack on that bad boy. In 1991, he was freed from...
Nelson Mandel.
No.
Relate Howie Mandel's
Terry
father.
Anderson.
Oh,
remember this? The hostage
the envoy
in Lebanon.
Terry Anderson, or the
he was a wasn't he a he was
a missionary.
Yes, and he was released this day in 1991. Here's the part I didn't know. In '99, he sued the Iranian government for $100 million.
Wow, he got $100 million out of them?
No, but he did get a multi-million-dollar settlement.
Wow.
So they did pay him somehow.
Idiot. He should have just reviewed toys.
No kidding.
By the way, if I'm not mistaken, he went over there and went back then, even though he was warned or captured.
Yeah,
and I remember having less sympathy for him than others that had been taken.
Okay, and by the way, he ended up with millions of dollars after the whole thing. Now, would you be willing to be kept hostage in Iran for 2,000 days? It was like 6 years.
Oh, it depends on how much money and what's the prison like.
I'm gonna guess it's a lot like working in a moist environment where things are getting sweaty.
Nope, not worth it. Although some people work in those environments for a whole lot less.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
they do.
Wow, look at that.
By the way, a weird fact of the day: the Facebook like button was originally planned to be named the Awesome button.
Awesome.
There's your.
I like that better.
There's your headline.
Well, okay, let's just regroup and move on this, your Daily Mojo.
High capacity, fully automatic, large caliber, freedom. MoJo 50.
Who knows you better than you? Well, it appears that the Reverend Al Sharpton believes the answer is only you know you better than anyone else, and perhaps he believes what he knows about himself should be handsomely rewarded. Let me explain. Sharpton recently sold the rights to his life story, which includes the time he believed the false allegations about Tawana Brawley, to himself, or more accurately, to his charity, the National Action Network, or NAN. Sharpton's generous nonprofit agreed to pay Sharpton $531,000 for his life story rights for a 10-year period, according to the nonprofit's latest tax filing. It's unclear when Sharpton may pocket the cash, which is above and beyond the $244,661 he received as compensation from the organization in 2017. Nonprofit experts said the transaction could be troubling because NAN was doing business with its own president. To top it all off, an additional payday is possible for NAN and perhaps Sharpton because NAN has the ability to turn around and sell the rights to Hollywood producers or anyone else who wants to buy Sharpton's story, although it's unclear who those takers may be at the moment. Sharpton's not taking credit for the ingenious money-making idea. He's blaming that on the board of directors of NAN, but wouldn't name the directors when asked. He claims the board came up with the idea as a way to continue the revenue stream after Sharpton steps down in about a year. Sharpton boasted that he had contracts for 2 movies, with a third in the works. He said one of these movies is already in production, although he wouldn't give details to any of the projects. I guess we'll just have to take Sharpton at his word. Right. And that's today's reality check with Susan Knowles.
Dating today with all the crazies out there has to be nuts.
Yes, it really would. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a place you could go to find people who think like you do?
Like me, like libertarians and conservatives?
Right?
There is. WeThePeople.dating.
Amazing. What a genius idea. This is a site that you can go to if you're single and you are looking for somebody who you know you're going to think the same way, as for from a political freedom standpoint. If you want to date the right person for you, you'll find them in one place. WeThePeople.dating.
All right, comments coming in now via social media.
And by the way, you're welcome on MeWe for the clam video that I sent you.
Clam?
Yes.
Wow. It's
a good clam video.
If you're telling me that someone has a clam video.
No, I have a clam video. I gave it to them on MeWe.
That's what I'm saying. If you tell me, hey, go to MeWe and check out that clam video.
Check out the clam
There's
video.
no way that is not dirty.
It is kind of dirty. It is. I will have to say this, and they're enjoying it over there. in the MeWe chat
All
room. Let's see. Let's be frank in PA.
I like that guy.
I do too. And thank you for the shirts.
Oh,
we never did say thank you, I don't think.
Oh,
and
my
that
gosh. That was right before the Black Friday thing we got.
Yes, it did. Things were kind of crazy in here. Frank, thank you for the.
By the way,
shirts.
and as a general thank you to everybody, whatever stuff like that. If there's something that you don't hear us mention, whatever, it's not for a lack of appreciation.
And sometimes it is, because sometimes it's just stupid stuff. And
I was just going to clean it up for us.
Sorry, erase that last part.
Usually, can I just say that? Usually,
yeah,
because honesty lives here. Usually,
yes, it does.
It's just an oversight, and it's because I'm really tired quite often.
Yes,
and
most of the time.
I'm getting the old. I'm not as old as Brad, but I'm getting the old.
You're catching up really quickly.
I'm going to be 40 soon. 40 soon, Brad.
Yes, you will.
Damn.
In dog years. Let's be frank in PA. Brad Stacks can still be heard to say, there she blows $20 save us downtown and seen chasing clams. A reference to said clam video.
You know, just last year I was a bartender downtown. That's what she said. I was...
That's right, she did.
Downtown.
And now I are making laws.
How much is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as a bartender downtown?
$20.
$20.
Cordy taint pucked up. 9-year-old girl. A 9-year-old got a town to end a ban on snowball fights. Not all heroes wear capes.
Thank you.
That is so true. Actually, might do a better job in the house than her, if you think about it.
Hidden camera.
And
we need to bug that office.
Finally, Sputtering Duck, who, if I read this, will you stop bitching? Unconfirmed, disgruntled postal workers killed GHW Bush for a day off. Wow.
Here's the thing about Spittering Duck. What is it today? Sputtering? Snarky?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Something with a duck.
That's his charm. That's what he does. That's who he is. You know the story of the turtle and the scorpion.
Yeah. I think you should tell it anyway.
You know that?
No, of course he doesn't. It's Ron.
So a scorpion is in the bank of a little river, and the turtle gets ready to go in the river, and he goes, hey, I need to get to the other side. Can you give me a lift? And he goes, I'm going to give you a lift. You're going to sting me. I don't want to be. He goes, listen, man, I just need a lift. I won't sting you. Just let me climb on your shell, swim across the river, and give me a little ride. And he goes, he goes, I'm not going to sting you. He goes, we'll both die. I'll drown and whatever, and then you'll be stung and he goes, all right, don't sting me. He goes, dude, come on, man. So he climbs on the shell, get halfway out in the river. He stings the turtle. And as the turtle's dying, going under, he goes, why would you do that? We're both going to die. And he says, because I'm a scorpion.
See, that's what scorpions do.
That's what they do.
What they do.
Spittering duck. He's just an a-hole. That's what he does.
He's a duck.
He's just a scorpion.
Yes.
I think we've realized that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's his charm.
Yes, it is.
And that's what we love about it.
Yes.
There's a-holes you don't like, and there's a-holes you like.
Yes.
And he is.
He is. Absolutely of those.
Is.
Yes. Could be.
One of those.
Yeah. I'm done here.
Hey, Brandon Johnson is joining us now. He owns a trucking and limo company in Toledo, Ohio. Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing well, sir. How are things in northwestern Ohio? Is it cold and snowy? Is it horrible?
Yeah, it's a little chilly.
Nice. Good.
No snow today, though.
Well, it's coming. Give it a couple of minutes. Brandon reached out to us when we announced on Black Friday that we are going to be launching a 50 states in 50 days tour around Memorial Day. And we started talking about all the different potential location sponsors and then title sponsors and whatnot. He said he would graciously help us out along the way and see what we can come up with. But also, as part of our Building America, I want to have him on to talk about his business as well. And if you're interested in being on our Building America segments, just let us know. You can find us via social media or the website as well. So tell us, first of all, about your trucking and limo company.
I've been in business 19 years. I started off with one dump truck in 1999, and we built our way all the way up to 92 dump trucks at one time, which was a disaster. Having that many employees.
92 dump. That's a lot of dump trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 200 and some employees. That's all I've done my whole life since I was 19. We still run the same amount of trucks. We just subcontract a lot out. So we downsized them about 5 years ago, and when we did We opened a stationary truck wash for semis, motorhomes, regular cars. Everything's hand scrubbed. So you pull in your RV, your boat, your tractor trailer. We have 4 guys hop on it and hand scrub everything. And then we also go out mobilely and do mobile account sidewalks, eaves troughs, houses, fleets of trucks. And then our most exciting business that we started about 4 years ago is our limo company. We have 10 vehicles. We have 4 of them being the only ones in the world. We have the new Mega Lounge, which we've been talking about, of possibility of taking you guys on your 50/50 tour.
Yeah, what's
the only one in the world?
What's the Mega Lounge? This is like a tour bus or a party bus, right?
Yep, it's 2 stories. It's a double-decker. The whole top is glass, so you can lift every window up like a convertible. The bars from downstairs,
that's trouble.
You can actually push a button, and your bars open up to the outside. This vehicle comes with cocktail waitresses, so you bring a box of liquor, your food.
Shut up, you had me at cocktail waitresses.
You had me at cocktail. You had Matt Lockett.
It has special features as doors. You can bring kegs inside. You bring your liquor. Then our girls have all the blenders.
Wow. Why have we talked to anybody else about this?
That's what I'm saying. This sounds fantastic. Now, normally you take this like regionally. People rent it out, and you say, "Hey, this for like weddings, or is this like to do road trips to casinos, or both?" Or
Yeah, weddings is a big one, just because a lot of people have a big wedding party. And they have out of town family that want to go. Now their whole family and wedding party can go. We do a lot of football games. We did the Ohio State Michigan game. We're doing the Bengals Steelers game. So normally it don't go cross country, but I think for the opportunity that for the 50/50 would be great. You have the only vehicle in the world cruising through all 50 states, making a great event.
that would be certainly very interesting. Well, we're certainly interested, and we'll keep we'll get together with you and see work out prices and structure and time and all this different stuff, the logistics of it, to see if that works out. And it's very generous of you to try to work with us on that, and we really appreciate that. It's going to be a pretty cool tour. There's some logistical issues that we have, and it's...
You mean like 50 states in 50 days?
Well, I mean, we have 50 tour stops as well.
Right.
So, and quick little side note, if you have a business, or you know somebody that has a business, a restaurant, a car dealership, whatever, and you're interested in hosting us, the tour stops, in the tentative ones, are located at MoJo5050tour.com, but you can get there via MoJo50.com. And just look at the tentative tour stops. We can adjust it. Like Brandon, for example, we knew we were going to be coming across I-90 from Northeast Ohio all the way through Cleveland and up. So we were planning on stopping somewhere around Cleveland. So we just go a couple of hours to the west, and it's an easy adjustment for us or whatever. But logistically, we'll have to tinker. But if you have a business and you're interested in hosting a tour stop, it'll probably be just over $3,000. 50% of it right off the top goes to veterans charities. Then we deduct expenses out of our half. So you get a tax write-off in that. And then title sponsors or secondary sponsors, obviously those will be pretty hefty because we have to pay for a bus. Now, if we work out with something with Brandon, that'll bring the cost down as well. But just want to lay that out there. So, Brandon, real quick, you have something pretty interesting coming up tomorrow night? You're going to do something pretty cool for the homeless?
Yeah, so tomorrow at 5 o'clock, it's called the Family House. It's a homeless shelter for people, families that are, having troubles. We always do something special for Christmas. I stopped and seen something on the news about the Family House, went and visited.
Are you there still?
A special day.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we lost you for a second.
So we're going down to the Family House at 5 o'clock tomorrow. We've been working on this for about 6-7 weeks. I'm a smaller company, but we've reached out to a bunch of other smaller companies, which Toledo's a great community. We all want to team up and make this a special day. These kids didn't choose this life or where they're at. So they're going to have the best Christmas they've ever had. We have all 8 of our 8 limos going down there. We have a real Santa coming in the trolley. have characters coming, Captain America, princesses.
Wow.
We have 3 heavyweight fighters that have belts that are coming to the event. We have a radio station so the kids can talk live on air. And we filled our whole Mega Lounge. We went shopping Saturday. And we filled our Mega Lounge from top to bottom full of presents for these kids.
So the families, they get on the bus and it's a little, you take them on tour of lights and stuff, and then you have the event. So it's like an all evening thing.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 to 9. We have pizza and pop coming, so the kids, that's something that they don't get to just order pizza on a regular basis. So we choose that. They're going to eat. They're going to sit on Santa's lap. They're going to open all their presents. We are also redoing their whole living room. Avellino is who we partnered with. Thomas over there has been great to work with. So they're actually painting it right now. We're putting all new furniture in there, new TVs. So they have the one room that all these families hang out at is all going to be brand new. And then all of our big sponsors, along with all 100 people in the family house, are going to hop in the limos and go for a Christmas light tour around Toledo.
Wow. That's really cool.
That's when I first heard the rough idea of what you were planning, I was impressed, but the details of this and the links that you guys are going to, I hadn't thought about that. You're right. I mean, when we think of homeless as tragic and as sad as that is, somebody, a lot of times veterans out on the side of the road or whatever, you don't think about the kids that are, especially during the holidays.
Right.
It's one thing, it's bad enough if it's the summertime and they can go outside and play or something, but you're trapped inside in Toledo, in the cold around the holidays. And, if they see Christmas specials or whatever else, all that does is remind them that is not their life. Their life is very different.
Yeah.
But Brandon, my mom, when she grew up, was very poor. And I asked her, I said, about being poor. She goes, we didn't know we were poor. She said, because we had nothing to compare it to. Mm-hmm. But that was because there was no internet and, she didn't have a TV to compare it with, and other people in the neighborhood were poor too. So she didn't know there was another world. These kids constantly are shown how poor they are on top of doing without.
Definitely. And that's why we decided, to go all in on this. There's
And he went underneath the water or the bridge.
One more time. Are you there, Brandon? Oh. Brandon, are you there?
115, to let them believe, hey, there's good people out there. You're in a rough spot. You didn't choose this spot, but come 5 o'clock tomorrow, these kids are going to be the happiest kids in town, I'm sure. They're going to get Santa. They're going to get fighters. They're going to get radio station. They got princesses, Captain America, pizza. And they're going to have, I think we have an average of 8 presents per kid right now.
Wow.
And they're going to have a whole brand new living room. They're going to have air hockey table. We're putting basketball hoops outside. I went and visited the place, and I seen little kids throwing a ball in a bucket because there was no basketball hoop. Well, come Friday, they're going to have it all. And then hopefully that makes them believe, Christmas is a special time, and we're so excited for the day to get here.
When where could people find out about your business? And do you need help, by the way? Could you do you need donations? Do you?
Yeah, we could still, tomorrow's the event. Up until today, if they wanted to donate, they could go on my Facebook page, Team Johnson Limo on Facebook, and it's got the details, how you can contact us, how you can donate.
Team Johnson Limo.
Yep, on Facebook. We can still use donations. Today is going to be a busy day. We still have a lot of stuff to wrap, which we're going to do later, and we're still finishing the new living room, something we just decided Sunday night that, hey, we still had a little money left over. We didn't have quite enough to do all of the living room, but we're just trying to figure it out, and we're going to split it between me and Avellino if we're short. But another donation would be huge, to get a good rug and, get maybe a video game system for the kids. So when it's cold, they can stay inside and have something fun to do.
This is really, Brandon, this would be cool to see take off nationally, where every community, puts something together like this, because I can't think that there's a lot of opportunities for kids to have, especially kids in shelters like that around the holidays, stuff like this. So this would be pretty cool to see take off on a bigger scale even.
And I just shared it to our Facebook page, the MoJo Facebook page. I shared one of your posts over there. So if anybody wants to step up and volunteer or help out in any way, they can go to our Facebook page and find them.
And give us that website again, Brandon, or where they can find you on Facebook.
Team Johnson Limo on Facebook. And that should have all the details. It has the movie of us shopping. I mean, everyone had so much fun. If you watch the video, we had Pat from 419 tape it as we're shopping, running through the store, riding bikes. I mean, it was just a fun, great day.
That's
you know, and the best part of it, we invited every person that sponsored to come ride in the limos with those kids. They all helped us. You know, the point of giving, I love seeing the kids' face when they see all these presents and stuff they have. So everyone that donates to our stuff, they all get invited to the main event, and they get to ride in our limos for free to hang out with these kids for the night. Also, you know, they donated money. They get to see them opening them presents that they chipped in for. You know, and I think that's a big part of it. You know, I love seeing kids smile for Christmas, just like a lot of us do. You know, so there's going to be probably a couple hundred people there in all of our vehicles riding along with these kids to make their night special.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. Thanks for all your help with our tour, and I'm sure we'll be in touch in the next day or two to try to work out some things. And just thanks so much, Brandon. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, not a problem.
All right. We'll talk to you soon again. That's Team Johnson Limo on Facebook, and Brad just posted that out there. You know, it's funny. He was talking about, you know, seeing the kids and them getting excited about it. I don't know if I could do it, Brad.
Emotional?
I don't know if I could be on the tour or on the bus with them as they tour around Toledo with that. First of all, because it's in Toledo. No, I'm kidding. Like I could shop for the kids. I could be excited about this, and I would still go to help out. But I got to tell you, although it gives you a good feeling, you know, and people out on those, often in those scenarios, it's overwhelming for me.
Yep. Yep.
I see the kids, and the whole time I'm like, oh, this is making me so happy. The kids are happy, and also I'm really sad here. And
you're a giant wuss, is what you're saying.
I don't think that's ever been disputed. Have I ever denied that?
From that tough exterior.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Man, the kids in scenarios like that, they just don't understand. As I would say, normal people, when you see a kid that is suffering, whatever that means, without, in need, unhappy, isn't it just a natural reaction to make things better?
Absolutely.
Certainly as parents,
if you're
you
human,
get that.
yes.
Right. You're like, let me just make this. I mean, you see a kid fall down, you're like, oh, it's okay. Let me.
After you get done laughing at them, yeah.
Well, right, because falling's always funny. And then you, hang on, let me videotape this. And then you
do
try
that
to
one
make
more
it
time?
better.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
As a parent, if you've ever had a sick child, especially if it's a serious illness, the pain and suffering you feel because you can't just, as a parent, you just make things better, right?
That's your job.
So in that scenario, just want to make it better, and often you can't. Man, that is overwhelming.
I've discovered that if you just build walls around your heart, you don't have to get all dirtied up
really
with that,
does.
emotional crap.
Drugged down like that.
Yes.
We hear horrible stories all the time about things that happen to people, children, right? You hear these stories all the time. I mean, there are countless stories every day if you really dove into it. Kids sold and raped and murdered and all kinds of
a-hole out there in Colorado killed his wife who was pregnant, and the two.
I just saw one out of Houston a couple of days ago. Maybe it was over the weekend. A mom drowned and beheaded her child. He was like 5 or 6. The dad came home. Surprise! It was. She told him, I sent him away. Wait, what? Excuse me? And I saw that story and overwhelmed.
Wow.
For all of those horrible stories, there is, by comparison, a very simple and awful story, but again, by comparison, that still years later, it's a simple news story, and something about this story triggers the hell out of me when it comes to it. It was in Richmond, Virginia, and there was a story of a child who was, I want to say he was like 6, 7 years old, a boy that was abducted, I believe and molested, raped, something.
Right.
The a-hole who did it then left him outside. Okay, bad enough you have to deal with rape or whatever.
Right.
Left him outside during a cold snap in nothing but his underwear. Right. And the child died from exposure. And as horrible as the rape is and the abduction and the fear, whatever, I can't get beyond the alone in the woods at night, cold, freezing.
Yes.
It's by comparison,
it's terrifying.
It's not even. I can't get over that.
How people? Well, he's not a human.
I didn't even see pictures of the child when it was reported. I didn't see a picture of the woods. I just know the details from reading it, and I've got the image in my head, and I can't get it out of my head.
Yeah. Well, you remember the guy that he got the key, told his son he was going to take him to Disneyland, and then said,
"Oh, don't do that to me! Damn it, Brad! Damn it!"
That one just. I know. They are.
Oh, why did you do that?
Special place in hell for those people.
Okay, because now I got to share the details. That kid just died, right? He was like 28, 35, something like that.
Gary D or something like that. He just,
This is an old. The kid just died. He was an adult, long adult. This happened 30 some years ago, or 30, whatever. Long time ago, decades ago. And they reported on it because he finally passed. As a 6 or 7 year old child, didn't he argue to get custody or visitation?
He
the mom didn't want him to, and whatever.
Right. He told the kid that he was going to.
We're taking you to Disneyland, and then they stop in a motel, and while the kids sleeping, the dad sneaks out, goes and gets gasoline, pours it on the kid, the room, and lights it on fire.
Yep.
And the kid almost dies from being burned, and the rest of his life he carried these almost scarred on his entire body.
1983 it happened.
And again, that's a horrible story, right? But the betrayal of a child, see, this is the thing. As a kid, you wake up scared, let alone a fire, whatever. That's all horrible. And you're screaming, Dad, Mom, whatever. All that's bad. But then you find out, guess who did it? Dad. Yeah. God! Thank you for reminding me of that one in the middle of all this. Can we just move on?
Yes, I think that's probably a good idea. By the way, Constitutional Drunk over in MeWe chat room wants Brandon to adopt him. So,
right.
I think Constitutional Drunk may be a fully grown man. But, if you're...
you might just need to be a drunk today.
Maybe. Maybe.
Get Chef Patrick in here and whip up some drinks.
That's a good idea. And
you know what? You can't drink all day.
If you don't start in the morning.
You got how you going to drink all day?
It is simple
logistically,
logic.
The math doesn't work.
It is
if you start
logic.
at 4 in the afternoon, that's not all day.
No. If you right now is the best time. The best time to start drinking all day was an hour ago. The second best time is right now. And baby, it's stupid outside. Wow, I feel like crap now. You're welcome.
Okay, we're trying to get beyond this together.
Welcome,
these are the facts of life.
Welcome, iHeart listeners. Enjoy.
These are the sad, painful facts of life. We address them. We move on. We get beyond it because you take the good and you take the bad.
Yes.
And you
take the bad and you get a little smattering of good every now and then.
The facts of life. Okay.
I see what you did there. Were you not a Tootie? What was the other?
I am a Tootie fan now. That's all I'm going to say.
Fruity. What was it?
Blair and Joe.
Blair and Joe.
Joe Polnicek and Blair Warner.
Which one? Okay, you know what? Both should be an option.
I'm curious to. Okay. Do you have a thought on what's his name? Ron. Do you have a thought on this? Blair or Tootie? You were.
Not
Blair.
Tootie.
Sorry,
Tootie.
you were a Tootie fan, weren't you?
I was a Tootie fan, but I'm a Joe fan.
Joe fan. Oh, well, you're a psycho writer. What about you?
So he's you're saying you like the tomboys.
I'm a Joe
Joe
fan,
on the
dude.
show.
Let's just leave it at
She's
that.
a tomboy.
I know I have somebody listening right now. I'm a Joe fan. Let's just.
We used to call lesbians tomboys.
Okay.
Who doesn't like
all
them?
tomboys were lesbians.
Not all of them.
No.
They were all lesbians. Come on. What about you?
Joe or what was the other one?
Blair Warner. Joe
You know
Polnicek.
what? Because I brought the question up, I'm adding a third option, which is both. And I'm taking
which did you had to pick? If you had to pick back in the day,
Natalie.
You chubby chaser there?
You know what? She tries harder.
She does try.
She tries harder.
She's going to try to please you.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's where you're missing the bus because Blair's just going to lay there.
Okay. So you were a Joe fan back in the day.
I did
back
like
in the
Joe,
day.
yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Miss Garrett.
Go ahead.
Miss Garrett.
Joe Bradley Staggs is here to take you for a ride. He's with some other guy. I don't know his name.
Not wearing pants.
So what do you guys think? Go ahead and place your bets on Doc Thompson. Was he a Blair or Joe fan?
Blair. I'm guessing Blair.
No, I remember you telling us this before.
There's not an Asian option, right?
You were
Just
a
so
Joe.
you know.
Well, you know.
You were a Joe fan.
With the right makeup.
I was a Joe fan.
Yep, I remember you said this.
Blair was attractive, don't get me wrong. But even as a young boy, blah, 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 Blair
So
wanted-
many words.
So much maintenance, so many words.
Yeah, very
And
high
Joe, I
maintenance.
think, was, I think she'd be a little more fun at that age.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know.
Yes. Well, and
back in the day when it was called seduction.
Yes, and not rape.
Consent.
Right. Or
when consent wasn't that big of a deal back in the day, you know.
Here's the thing about why can't I remember her name now? Not Joe.
Blair.
Why am I having a block on her name? She's the worst kind. She was high maintenance who thought she was low maintenance.
Yes, exactly.
And that is the worst.
She was Sally from When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, couple things. First of all, were you a Ginger or Marianne fan?
Again, I'm going with the third option, and
Mrs.
both.
Howell, got you.
Uh-huh.
You were Marianne. I was, the Joe thing is, I usually like the cute girl next door. That was it. So Marianne fit that. Joe was generally a little rough, but by comparison to Blair was just way too
She was
primped up and all that
Blair
stuff.
took 40, probably 2 hours in the morning to get ready.
Now, I do want to point out something. We've had this long debate over whether you prefer one underage girl or another underage girl, just so you know.
They're not underage anymore.
We're not talking about them today.
When I was watching them then, they were not underage for me.
Wait a minute. How old are you?
You don't scare me. Doesn't even begin to
I'm just
scare
saying,
me.
long debate over that.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
And still to this day, Blair, so many words.
Okay. Were you a Laverne or Shirley?
Shirley. I had to think about that for a second.
Yeah, no one wanted Laverne.
No. Why the long face? Is Sarah Jessica Parker her daughter?
The love child of John Kerry and Laverne DeFazio.
They share common stock. See what I did there? Huh? That's a thinking man's joke right there.
Okay, wow. All right, I guess we just, do we move on? Do you have a communique you want to share before we wrap this little segment up here?
Some of the other things.
Do you feel better now? I'm talking about raped kids?
I feel much better. Jeff A. in VA, I finally get to work, tune in, and the talk is on underage girls. I need to catch up.
Good.
Yes, Jeff, you do.
Here, don't go back and you might skip this segment right before that. It's going to change your mind just a little bit.
Yeah, it really will.
It's a little tainted.
You know what? Just
leapfrog right over that.
Just move on.
Odd day to begin on iHeartRadio. All right.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Americans from all walks of life are remembering President George H.W. Bush, whose body lies in state beneath the U.S. Capitol Rotunda.
He arrived here in Washington to a hero's welcome, the nation's 41st president returning to the Capitol one final time, eulogized as much for his character as his achievements, celebrated as much as mourned.
Here lies a great man.
There was a kindness about the man that was evident to everyone who ever met him.
House Speaker Paul Ryan joining Vice President Pence in praising President Bush. Hours after the Bush family left the rotunda, President and Mrs. Trump made an unannounced brief appearance, with the president saluting the flag-draped casket. Sagar Magani, Washington.
French officials reportedly about to announce they're giving up plans for a fuel tax hike at month's end, the possibility of higher taxes sparking violent protests in Paris in recent days. As General Motors plans a major restructuring that includes plant closings, financial analyst Hillary Kramer says there's lots of concern about where the automaker is headed.
Everyone read between the lines, and let me tell you, I think everyone felt that what Mary Barra is doing is bringing about the demise and the end of General Motors, even worse than General Electric as it's shedding its divisions.
Kramer is editor of the financial newsletter Game Changers in cooperation with Salem Media, parent company of townhall.com. After sliding for the past couple of months, crude prices have pulled an about-face. Oil prices up yesterday. Speculation that the truce in the U.S.-China trade war could result in higher energy demand. On Wall Street this morning, Dow futures down 108 points. S&P futures off 11. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
You cannot retreat to your safe spaces. There are no therapy poodles allowed when facing the truth. And that's just how we like it. Straight, hard-hitting, conservatarian truth. On the rocks. No chaser. No marches. No protest. Only small, limited government, constitutional conversations. Exclusively on MoJo 50. We get into foreign policy. We get into national politics. We get into constitutional, libertarian, conservative ideology. We put the brakes on the media spin by destroying the lies, dismantling the narratives, and bringing you the stone-cold hard truth. Every weekend on MoJo 50. Join me, Adrian Slade, for a raging hour-long discussion, deconstructing the headlines and delivering you the entire full story. Only on MoJo 50. Live free.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
It's a funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone. RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism, so you're burning more.
Yeah,
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com. RIDUzone.com.
Ship has landed.
What is that? Brad suddenly got very excitable.
Oh, Stinky brought up a good point over on Twitter. I don't think there's a need for debate over the Valerie Bertinelli Mackenzie Phillips choice. That's true.
No.
I mean, who wants that Valerie?
Now, are you talking
Mackenzie?
Hot or someone to buy drugs from?
That's true. Or someone to call you daddy.
Right. Wow, that's a thinking man's joke. Wow, right there. Who do you want to call daddy? Mackenzie Phillips. For those of you that don't know, Mackenzie Phillips had an interesting relationship with her father. There's a term for that. What's that term?
Relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, there's a term for that. It starts with an I and ends with an incest. See, her father was Papa John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas.
Yes.
And her mama was, well, we don't know for sure.
Wasn't it Michelle?
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Supposedly, allegedly, those were her parents. But back in the day, they were a little free about the love, so it could have been any one of them.
Oklahoma Tomcat, actually, you can not drink all day unless you start at, that's right, midnight straight up and drink until 23:59. Yes. You're obviously a professional.
Well, day means a 24-hour period, midnight to midnight, but day also means the daylight hours.
Yeah, which is why I hate winter, because there are not enough hours to drink in.
You can't get it all in. It's very difficult. Thank you.
Should I go on? Ah, that's true. Pink Floyd, Joe could fix your brakes. Blair would break your fixes.
Yep. That's right. That's Right.
Golly gee whiskers. And
that's pretty much the extent of what you can share right now, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And the clams still making waves over in the chat room.
Good. We'll check those out as well.
Check out those clams.
Also, check out SaveYourHeart.com. SaveYourHeart.com or dial 877-HEART to save your heart. The theme here with both SaveYourHeart.com or 877-HEART is, in fact, saving your heart. And Brad, what would people be saving their heart from if you go to SaveYourHeart.com or call 77-HEART?
Heart disease is it's one of the biggest killers in this country, and your heart being a muscle. Did you know, by the way, fun fact that's not so fun, heart attacks go up around this time of year because of all the stress of the holiday season. Yes. So
well, that's bad news for those of us that already had a lot of stress.
Exactly. The thing is, if you want to do some preventive maintenance on your heart, that's why you need to look into the Pauling Therapy Essential Formula, and that's why you need to go to SaveYourHeart.com to find said Pauling Essential Therapy Formula, because this is a formula designed to help save your heart. It's got a I'm not going to go into all the details. I'm going to make you look at SaveYourHeart.com and look at, the little slider right about a third of the way down the page. Click on where it says the Pauling Therapy Essential Formula and learn about it and learn how it could be good for you, because as you get older, you need to do some maintenance.
Yeah, and if you're a little bit younger, you know what? This is preventative. Yesterday, a lady called to interview me, and she's going to interview all of us about our new platform. It's a lady that has a business broadcast, and she talks about new businesses and whatever, kind of like our Building America type thing. And she asked me about advice. She said, I always ask people like 3-4, piece of advice, you get a little bit older, business, life, whatever. And one of the ones I told her is, you really got to take care of yourself.
Yes.
When you're younger.
Yes, you do.
See, Brad, nobody told me I was going to get old. Or if they did tell me, I didn't believe them, because you know how many times older people lie to you.
Yes, they do. Every day.
Yeah, often they're not lying to you. They're lying to you to get you into the sack. Beyond that, a lot of that stuff's true.
If you're hot. If they're not trying to, you're not hot.
Right, thank you.
So
I'm the youngest in my family. So all they're like, I don't get old, whatever. And I'm like, please, I'm going to be the youngest. It's all relative, and I got old.
It does catch up with you.
And then you're like, wow, I really wish I would have fill in the blank. Taken care of my spleen more, or my heart, or brushed more often, or ran, or not eaten that bad food.
We always used to wear those funny T-shirts that said, liver is evil, must be destroyed.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So if you're young, take care of yourself now. It's coming, and you're going to go.
It certainly is.
You wake up one day, and you're like, wow, I have a pain there where I didn't know I had it there.
Right. I didn't know things could hurt.
You can get a pain there, right in that spot. And by the way, it's not going away.
Nope.
And you just keep with the pain right there.
Just do yourself a favor and go to SaveYourHeart.com and look at least take a look at it and give it a shot. Give it a shot. It's something good for your body. And if you start now, you may live to a ripe old age. Unless, of course, you get into this business.
And now, the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
What do you call it when a white guy goes to prison?
I don't know. What do you call it when a white guy goes to prison?
A family reunion.
And now,
Gotta do that
this has been the totally acceptable racist joke of the day.
Works better if I get those in the right order.
You see, it's acceptable. It's a white guy, and the prisons are full of them. Just like,
white guys in prison?
Just like Europe.
Please.
They're everywhere.
They are. They are in prison.
Yes, they are.
All right. So we made the big announcement yesterday. Please share that, if you would, with friends and family, that we are now available on the live stream is now available on iHeart.com as well. You can go to iHeart.com or download the app, right?
If you're looking for the dead stream, that's somewhere else.
Well, we have the podcast, and those have been up the iHeart podcast.
Right.
But now we got the live stream, and so is our sister platform, Spoonie.
Is that
our food
Spoonie
platform?
a sister?
Sure. It's food.
That's true. That's
women cook. Their own kitchen cooking.
That's true.
So Spoonie.com and MoJo50.com, both up on iHeart, which is a pretty big deal. There's just not a lot of digital 24-hour live streams that are not terrestrial based broadcasts.
We are, of course, based on Mars, not terrestrial.
Means digital. Means
we're
internet
based on
and whatnot.
Mars. Yes.
Could be.
I know what it means. We're on Mars.
It's shocking, but what you're hearing is something kind of special.
What?
An emerging media company like no other. Again, not so special like, yeah. But rather a company that's doing things kind of differently.
Window
and what's that?
You window licker.
Let me help out.
Okay.
It's more like we say the things that others won't or cannot. Or that
they refuse
are not because they're busy lying to you.
Oh, there's that, yeah.
It's hard to accept when you find out somebody that you have trusted has been outright lying to you about who they are.
Like a spouse.
It's okay. We can go with that.
Yeah. Well, does it not? I mean, you find out someone that's very close to you, someone that you trust, someone that you've listened to for years, like a spouse, when you find out that it was all horse crap.
Right. Well, and the thing is this, it's a shock, not just because this is happening, it's unbelievable, but it's the unbelievable part because you trusted them.
Yes.
Most of the time, whether you have done your due diligence or not, most of the time you haven't, there's this underlying or in the back of your head belief that somebody that is telling you good things, a spouse, like you said, that there is a trust, that they would just not be something different.
Right.
Whether it's your fault or their fault that you've built up this image of who they are, the betrayal is like, well, I can't believe they would do that because I believe all of these things about them. Sometimes we just build that up.
Yes.
We really don't know who they are.
Right.
But sometimes over and over again, they tell you about being principled. They tell you about, having values and live these things when they absolutely do not.
Correct.
And the more you believe them, the more difficult it is to believe.
Yes, you've gotten so deep into it that you lived the life.
Look around at broadcast or media right now, media companies. Look at them and look at the people involved in those media companies, right? Folks, what do you hear from conservative, right-wing, right-leaning, non-mainstream media? What do you hear from them? It's the same stuff over and over again and has been for decades. I'm tired of it. I can't even listen. I agree mostly with a lot of these companies and platforms and personalities, and I just can't listen to many of them because I find myself saying, yes, I know that, and I'm tired of hearing that. You're right. You're just saying this. You're preaching to the choir again after having preached to the choir for 20 years. And then on top of it, I find out that many of you preaching to the choir are full of crap. It's Jerry Falwell.
Yes.
It's, Jerry didn't get in as much trouble as others.
It's Jim Baker.
Jim Baker's a better. It's Jimmy Swaggart.
It's Ernest Angley.
But especially the ones that absolutely got busted for stuff that does not go in line with their character.
Right.
And, I sinned against God, they tell you. Yeah, now you tell us that because you got busted and you got busted again. Jimmy Swaggart took it out.
Ew.
He was with the chicks.
Ew.
Jim Baker, all kinds of nutty stuff there, too. Right?
Yes. Plenty of nutty.
So that's what we have in conservative media now. You have the modern televangelist that we grew up with in the 60s, or the 70s and 80s, really. That was the age of the televangelist, where they came on. They just tell you more about history with their faith and more about civics. It's taken a slight shift, but that's what it is. Well, I'm tired of that crap, and I think you are, too. So we are going to be as transparent, and I think we've proven that already.
Oh, yeah.
Honest and open as we can about this stuff. We'll
say what you're thinking.
We're going to say what others will not, have not, cannot, because usually they're worried about their own brand or lining their own pockets. And we even tell you when we're interested in doing that.
Oh, I'm interested in lining my pockets. I mean, I'm pulling down some. Right? You have any idea how much money I'm making right now?
Yep, because I'm making the same little amount.
What are you going to spend on? Man,
I may have gotten a call yesterday from a friend who said, you have no idea how lucky you are, but you will soon. And I, whoa, what are you? And they said, well, let me just say, there's a lot of information you and others have not had or do not have, and love to share with you as we get together for drinks soon.
Aha.
What's going on inside? And I said, wow, okay. Wow. And they said, let me just say, they were talking about me and us. We are too close to what we are building right now to see how good it is.
Okay.
And I said, what do you mean? They go, from their perspective and what we've been building, although we have lots of issues and lots of things we need to do, they go, you're probably focused every day on all the little details and I was like, yeah, all the things that you don't have right and you have to do.
Right.
I could work for 17 days straight, 24 hours a day, and still not accomplish everything we need to accomplish or anywhere near it.
True.
But every day we get a little bit more done, and they're like, you're focused on those things.
Every day is a winding road.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sheryl Crow?
Yes.
Weak. And they're like, but you're too close. You don't see what you're doing, but you have no idea how lucky you are, but you will soon, meaning they know some other things that's coming to them and what they're going through. Another friend and I exchanged texts. And he was quite unhappy with his current job, described it as miserable, explained where, and I can't share without giving away who he is or her, she is. Could be either.
Could be them.
Could be them. Could be both. They could be two-spirit.
Yeah.
Where they were sitting at the moment explaining how awful their life is and how how much worse it just got. And I was like, okay. He expressed his concerns about the future, and I told him, hang in there. Help is on the way.
Little River Band, 1979.
Thank you. So I'm like, dude, we put this together. Give us a couple more months, and help is on the way. Then this morning, I may have exchanged text with another friend.
You don't have that many friends.
I say friends, acquaintances. I call them friends. They just say, some guy used
You
to know.
want something from them. That's the only reason. Let's be honest. I mean, if we're going to be transparent, let's be transparent. They're
He
people
was
you
like,
want things.
oh my gosh, you have no idea. No idea. And I was like, oh, it's far worse than you can imagine. I was like, okay.
I have a pretty good imagination.
Yesterday, we had some good news. Brandon Morse, the Morse code, joining our little platform.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he joined. He was on yesterday afternoon.
Brandon Morse works here?
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Yeah, he has no other options.
I should read my email more often.
No, really, or just listen to the radio, either one. Yeah. So we're happy to have Brandon on board. We've worked with Brandon for a long time, and he's actually far better talent than I even realized. Yesterday proved it, so that's a good news.
Yeah.
Oh, yesterday on the air, this was a nice, pleasant surprise. Got another text I got to share with you. This was late last night. I was not feeling good, and I was drunked up. So, you were on it, but you didn't respond. You a-hole.
What?
You a-hole.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes, now I know what you're talking about. Well, I was going to make a suggestion as for the timing of that situation, which could be tomorrow.
So yesterday, got a text message that says, thanks for the flashbacks today. So a former coworker that Brad referenced that had witnessed Penn Jillette shirtless multiple times. Such a lovely young lady that we know that is just she's awesome.
She lost her eyesight in that incident, and it's been horrible for her ever since.
She is so wonderful and such a nice person and just a delight to be around. Yeah. When she had told me the stories a couple times about seeing Ben Gillette shirtless a couple of times, that it was just always like, oh crap, I'm in this situation to see Ben Gillette shirtless again. It was so funny to hear her explain, how disturbing it was. So Brad casually mentioned it yesterday, and she was like, thanks for the flashbacks today. And I sent her a little smiley emoji. I said, I hope you're good. We miss you. And she said, doing well. Just, getting through, blah, blah, blah. I said, I miss you guys too. Hope things are good with you. Mentioned some comments on the air.
She and I share the same unfortunate initials.
What are they?
The initials that we share.
Which are?
What are my initials?
Your real name? Or your radio name?
Yeah, just a radio name.
BS? BJS?
Yep.
Does she have a J?
Yes, she does.
Wow.
There you go.
Anyways, then she was like, hey, we got to get together and catch up and whatever. And I said, yeah. So, yeah, you were on that text, but you were too good to actually respond.
No, I saw it this morning because I saw that I was too drunk to read last night, apparently.
Okay, so.
Something along those lines. But I was going to suggest tomorrow for that. So.
Anyways, nice lady. So.
Yeah, she is very, very nice. Let's see.
I want you to know that was so Paulin.
Have you ever seen one? Attitude. Damn it, Doc. Spill the beans. Let the cat out of the bag, or knock it off. You're driving me nuts. That's the Steve 42.
What was you talking about?
I don't know. Apparently, Steve's having a bad day.
Steve is an educated man.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart man.
Mm-hmm. And
I
yet
believe he may even be a professor.
Really?
I think so.
Someone nailed it.
Nailed it.
I'm not going to say who, but I'm not going to skip.
I say that about being educated because, you're a smart guy.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I was in the choir at Jerry Falwell's church back in the 1990s. That is Cordy Taint Pucked Up Sleeve. Wow.
Interesting.
And he has the scars to prove it.
Wow, his book may be as good as mine.
No kidding. Wow. The sequin jackets and all.
Jonas Nightingale, ladies and gentlemen. Jonas Nightingale.
Yep. Yes.
Leap of Faith, Steve Martin.
Yep.
Do you remember the big scene that capped everything off with Leap of Faith? Have you ever seen Leap of Faith? Leap of Faith is an underrated movie, and it's not like it's one of my favorites, but it does come up quite a bit in my head as I look at certain people and scenarios.
Shot here in Texas.
That's right. That's right. It was local.
Right up the road and down the road.
Ironically, because I'm referencing it, we're in Texas.
Yep.
That's what I meant by ironically.
Yep.
Steve Martin plays a evangelist going town to town, does the little tours. Yep. He's a scam artist.
Yes. A good one, too.
Amazing. He knows people, and that's what he does. Not really believes, but that's his job to make money. It's income. And he is faced with a scenario where there is a bit of truth, right? There's a kid who does get healed and some other things. And in the end, when it's all said and done and he's running out of town, he leaves the traveling circus, the evangelist show that he put together, starts hitchhiking to get out of town. Trucker picks him up, and Steve Martin starts laughing, just kind of chuckling to himself because the things that he'd been scamming about actually start coming true.
Right.
And he makes the comment, to paraphrase, something like, yep, I can, the one thing that will screw you up every time is the truth.
Yeah, it really does.
So as a scammer, he was used to having an answer for any scenario if it was the lie.
Right.
He could clean up, and you challenge him about the lie, he's got that.
Yeah.
He can handle it.
Yeah.
But the truth is the thing that screws him up every time. And you know that if you tell a lie, the problem isn't what you're lying about, it's the lie, because then often you have to lie about the lie.
What a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive.
And then people like Jonas Nightingale are people that have built a career on that. They know how to do it. They always have an out. They run town to town, job to job,
up and
always
down the
having
dial.
a story, always being the victim somehow, right? It's never their fault. And it's about the lies. They can handle the lies. The truth is what screws them every single time.
Yeah.
They can't sidestep the truth.
No, and they don't have a good explanation for it because it is what it is.
Yep,
doesn't fit
that's
their
the
narrative.
thing that will screw you up every time. Well, we're the truth.
Except for that one thing.
That one, but don't bring that up.
No.
We can explain our way out of that one.
Yeah, that's easy. Really, it is.
We should remind people about another one of our sponsors as well. And this is a sponsor that truly understands truth. A sponsor that I know as good, principled people who have faced a whole lot of adversity upon adversity that have been... It's the rich solution. It's the riches.
Oh, it's them. Oh, yes, absolutely.
That also understand what I'm talking about when I say truth, and having people in the middle of some of the worst moments of your life prey upon you.
Yeah.
These are the types of adversity these people have faced.
Yeah.
Gwen Rich got cancer and had people lie to him and cheat him and broke her neck, and then her kids got sick and other things. And in the middle of all this, a cancer that most people do not survive, certainly any length of time or significant length of time, managed to survive and still lives today. And she put together an entire formula, a combination of things that you've got to heal your mind, your body, and your spirit, all of these things. I think a lot of us will have one of something out of whack. One of those we're not in sync.
Oh, absolutely.
And they pull down the other one. You know, they put extra stress on it. So her system, and you can read all about it at therichsolution.com. You can pick up her book. She tells the tale about, mind, body, and spirit, and having a strong faith and getting beyond that. Your faith is something that when you're faced with the worst times, somebody lying to you, tricking you, stealing from you, cheating you, any of those things, those are the things that keep you going. But if you're facing a physical ailment, it's much harder to have faith to get you through those. It brings everything else down.
Yeah, because you feel like you've been turned on. And your body turned. It's like your body
exactly.
turning on you.
Get the details at therichsolution.com. Find out, and hopefully it'll help your life a little bit. This is a legacy project for them. This is something they want to help people. And also they have their supplements on sale, so you can find out about helping your body with supplements, something they strongly believe in, to help get you through. And it helps fund the legacy project. When you're dealing with supplements, the key is the right combinations and the quality of supplements. But get all the details at therichsolution.com.
Yes, it's indeed the place to go.
Good people that I hope do really, really well.
Yep. Stinky says, you guys are going to need a bigger desk, if only for the Korean snack foods.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, these are awesome.
Which ones are those?
These are the little ones that look like waffle fries that are...
Oh, yeah. These are the... I can't pronounce that.
They're so crunchy and
the
good.
Big sweet potato snack. So they're like a crispy waffle sweet potato.
Sweet
Sweet potato waffle.
Okay.
But they have little sesame seeds in them.
That's the only one that has the English translation on it.
Okay.
Isn't it? Well, but I was wondering how you...
Well, this one has pictures of a little pepper.
Of some anime.
It's
an art
Here's
form.
the thing. I was like, do I have that upside down?
And then, this is really big sweet. So these are sweet. So they're actually good for you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, good. And the nutrition information is in Korean.
So
I like that.
Honestly, you want to have fun and you're an adventurous person, go into it doesn't matter the type of culture or ethnicity, but go into a foreign market like that and buy the chips, the snacks.
Yes, they're really good.
It's always kind of a crapshoot. You're like, well, it's got an octopus on the front. It could be octopus flavor, or it could just be the character. It's octopus flavor.
There's nothing wrong with octopus flavor.
No, octopi are fine.
I love it.
Radio Revolution, MoJo 50.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
Today's number is 2, as in the 2 million cable subscribers that ESPN has lost in the fiscal year 2018. The so-called worldwide leader in sports has come under fire over the past few years for its hard turn into the world of liberal politics. Many have wondered if the loss of subscribers was directly due to turning off nearly 50% of the country. It certainly is possible that politics was a contributing factor, but a look at the overall trend in Disney's cable properties tells us that politics was not the driving force. That's because that 2 million number was nearly uniform across all of Disney's cable properties. And while ratings may be slipping big time, there's a difference between tuning out the network and cutting out cable entirely because of one network's political leanings. Another number to know is $1.9 billion, which is the amount of money ESPN lost by losing those 2 million cable subscribers. On its own, the 2 million number may not seem all that bad. However, considering the fact that ESPN leads all cable fee rates at an average of $8 per subscriber, it's a massive financial hit to ESPN and parent company Disney. Even the launch of its all-digital platform ESPN Plus hasn't been able to buoy the bottom line. line. ESPN touts 1 million subscribers to that new service, but at just $4.99 a month, it's making up just under a quarter of the money lost by the cable subscribers leaving. It all points to a network in serious trouble as they continue to see increasing costs and decreasing revenue. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins, and you can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
You know, we need to buy more chairs.
That's a good idea. So, Andrew Coppin, that we just had on, who's doing a little bit for us there every day, he actually called in on Black Friday. He was one of the guys that had a podcast and said, "I want to do some stuff." Younger guy, and he's a numbers guy. And I said, "Hey, let's start having you contribute some additional content here and try to work into that, and we'll help him grow and learn a little bit about this business." But his content's very solid.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Well, I mean, it's rarely do you get the fact-based stuff like that. Where people just put the stuff out. Of course, you do opinion, but hopefully you get a little additional information along the way.
And here's the thing. It's another good point that we're trying to grow some new talent.
Yep.
And that's what this platform is all about as well.
Absolutely. And, of course, still about helping people know what we can. That's what Black Friday was all about as well. Speaking of which, Bob Aiken joins us now, assistant professor, professional practice at TCU. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
Professor, assistant. Give me that.
Assistant professor, professional practice.
Okay, wow.
It's a clinical title, as we call it.
It looks good on a business card, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's long. And
just lots of words.
Don't even start. 2 doctorates and $1.75 will get you a Coke Zero.
So how are you, sir?
Good, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing well. So thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate it. Tell us what you do at TCU.
I teach marketing to basically undergrads. That's all I handle.
Okay.
Mostly like it's the 30153 courses.
Okay.
The principles course. So, and then I teach the sales class, which is where my heart lies. I'm not an academic. I'm a practitioner.
Okay.
And in 97, our family sold our business, and I retired. Stayed retired for about 8 months. was going very crazy, driving carpool, and was the envy of all my friends that were like, going to like Starbucks with their wives and stuff, and they're like, "You got to get a job, Aiken." And so then I went from there and started a publishing company in '98, and then got rid of it in 2000, and then that's when the dean of the business school, Bill Moncrief, who was my mentor, guru, and everything else, he's a great friend, said, "Why don't you come teach?" And I'm like, "I can't teach. I'm not a teacher." And so he convinced me to teach one class, and the next semester I was teaching 4, and it got pretty addictive.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I think those are the best teachers, the practitioners, the people who get it.
Yeah,
because you're usually pretty passionate about it as well as having practical knowledge.
Right. There was a real push to bring real world into the into academia, into the classroom, and it was David Miner, myself, and there's Rob Rhodes, who teaches B-Law. So I was teaching one principles course and then one sales course, and sales is where my heart lies, and so that's all the fun stuff.
So when you started those first couple of classes, and we've taught radio classes here and there, broadcasting. Yeah, I mean, you know some things. You start teaching those first couple of classes, all of a sudden you go, "Damn, I know some things." Right?
No,
I've gathered some knowledge.
You don't realize
here.
what you know until you start spewing it out.
Like, wow, I've actually gathered some stuff.
That was kind of the opposite. I was like, "Oh my laundry!" It's like, have they checked my background?
So
Do they really know what I'm doing?
Right?
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, who gave me the keys to the kingdom here?
But once you get in there and you start doing it, and you start seeing the enthusiasm from the learners, that's what drives you, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. And the whole key is, somebody says, "Are you any good as a professor?" And I say, "I don't know. It's going to take me, 15 years down the road, and I've been there 16, so I should probably figure it out by now."
Right.
Reevaluate. Well, what happens is like, because I bring real world. I say I teach by the story method. I'm not a real good academic learner. But I it's all, to me, it's all about, you're going to learn from my failure, because I've had 10 times more failure than I need. And that's what I teach by. It's like, my 30153 classes, I I always have a real world project. And right now we're right in the middle of project presentations. They have to do a presentation, marketing presentation over a company that I select, and it's typically a friend. Last semester we used Al McAuliffe. McAuliffe cigars.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal, you know, and it takes the kids out of their comfort zone and pushes them into the realm of possibility. And I always tell myself, look, you don't get to pick your client in the real world,
right?
And you got to impress your client in the real world.
Yep.
So come up with a marketing idea, and this is what we're going to do.
And good things always happen just outside your comfort zone. That's where the sweet spot is.
You get them uncomfortable, and sorry, I always said you're not going to fail unless you just stop and quit. You know, I'm a huge Churchill fan. You know, and when he said failure's not final, and it's not fatal.
Yeah, I mean, that's life. I mean, life is constant. In fact, you have a lot more failures than successes. The key is to go, okay, well, don't touch that hot stove again.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that's...
Well, but it's like, even when the judges come in, because I bring in my friends to judge these presentations, and the feedback they give them is, this was a good idea, but this is what you would do in the real world. You need to take it a little bit farther here. Look at this, look at that. And the students... literally 2 semesters ago, I thought, because I get like 30 people to come in and judge these things.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's 6 days of presentations, and there's different judges every day. And the funny thing is because I'm sitting there, busting hump trying to get judges in, and I'm like, why am I doing this, man? Because it's not paying off the center. And all of a sudden, I made a comment to one of my students, and my student looked at me and said, "Don't you dare." You gotta keep bringing them in. Said because we learn more from their critique.
Are they getting it? I mean, do they bristle, or do they? It's always a little painful to be critiqued, but I mean, overall, it's a positive experience.
Oh yeah. 90% of them understand it and get it and go, the light bulb goes off. There's that 10% that
they're just stupid and they're never gonna.
No comment, but
it's funny too, and part of it's the way you critique. If you're like, "Listen, kid, you'll never be nothing," that's bad for you, because you got to point out the bright spots so they know and encourage still. But this thing you probably shouldn't do.
I will not. It's funny because they're so paranoid when this thing's coming up because this is 30% of their grade.
Yeah, no,
it's pressure.
And I had one judge one time that was snarky with them, and he just really was. He wanted to get them right. And that person still to this day sends me an email. Hey, when are the presentations? Can't wait to come back. I'm like, yes, no, it's gonna snow in hell before you come back, big boy.
Was he honest?
No.
Oh,
he
okay.
was. He was. I want to torpedo somebody.
That's
nice. So it's like
So he wasn't trying to help. He was just
he was
jackass.
One of the things, whenever I would teach broadcasting students, I'd say, listen, what I'm about to explain to you here, and what I'm going to teach you, is some of the most basic ways to get a job, to have a career, and you will take this knowledge, and if you follow it, you're probably going to get a nice, solid little job, making whatever, and maybe build a life and career out of it. That's it. But remember, I'm not teaching you how to be an icon. Icons don't follow this. The disruptors are and when you put that in perspective and lay it all out there, then it clicks. So I always say, if you want to be a legend, you're going to have to do things your own way. But you've got to understand what comes with that. Very few people that try it actually become it. And number 2, it's going to come with a lot of heartache, pain, and suffering.
You bet.
And Charlie Daniels, a brilliant fiddle player, but he told somebody when they wanted, will you teach me how to play? He says, don't do it the way I do. I do it all wrong. He plays the fiddle wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound wrong, does it? So you have to break out of the mold.
How many Sears books did it take Roy Clark to learn how to play the guitar? He always said, I'm on book 94, and you're just like, never took a lesson. But he was, break molds, whatever it is. But I've always said in the business world, you have to learn from your failures. And if you're not willing to risk failure, if you're not willing to take that chance and step out and fail, then you're going to be perfectly happy being the status quo, and you're going to plateau very early in your life.
I really, we mentioned helping people and helping business is something we do. And students and kids like that, I love helping them understand and kind of navigate this stuff, because for me, there were a handful of people that really treated me well early in the industry, and most did not. Most were pretty awful to me. But there were a couple people, even when I was an intern, that really said, let me help you out and let me show you some things. And that's the reason I've always had a passion for interns, not just the hot ones, Brad. Stop it. I know where you're going.
Well,
but with ones that really want to learn and get it. Let me help you out, you know? I'm very passionate about that.
Well, you do fail your way to the top, literally. I mean, you can't, if you don't fail, you don't know the right path to take, because that tells you, that guides you along the way.
If you don't fail, you don't learn.
Right.
And the internships, for me, you know, I can't tell you, people go, hey, I need an intern. And it's like, what's that intern going to do? Well, they're going to file payroll. They're going to answer the phones. I'm like, that's not an intern. That's slave labor.
Right. You just want cheap
look,
labor.
I want somebody, I want my intern who I place is going to sit in the boardroom, or is going to sit right next to a decision maker. Not that they have a part in the decision, but they're going to see how the process is made.
Right.
It's like, you know, Marty Newmeyer wrote a book called Zag, which I love, and I use it as one of my textbooks. I'm one of these guys that I hate textbooks. I use, you know, The Power of Who by Bob Bodine, which is a phenomenal book. Speed of Trust by Stephen M.R. Covey, and then Zag by Marty Newmeyer. Newmeyer's he's the chief strategy officer at the Liquid Agency out in San Mateo. And when you read his stuff, it's like, it's none of it's, you know, groundbreaking or earth shattering. Oh my God. It's just common sense. It's like, you know, and that's what, I think that's what we see business today is so void of is just straight common sense. It's like, why do we make this decision? How do we make this decision? And what are the effects? It's like, I'm a big believer in John Nash and game theory. I love reading that stuff because it's like there's a logical progression to decision making. And that's what Newmeyer says is like, look, when everybody's zigging, hell, you zag.
You zag.
Well, and Bezos said, I read something the other day that he's gotten to the point where he says, I only have to make a couple of good decisions a day. That was where he defines success as he's not somebody who makes a bunch of decisions. He said, I just have to make a couple of good ones each day.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, first of all, Bezos is a guy that's going to surround himself with good people. And if a decision gets to him, they're going to have to justify why that decision is getting to him.
Right.
Number one. Number two is if the decision is getting to him, that's a pretty high level corporate decision that he's going to have to make that other guys are, you know, it's not the fact that they're not willing to make that decision.
Right.
It's just that's above their bailiwick, and that, you know, that's above their quote unquote pay grader.
Right.
So they're going to make that decision and then push it up to him, and then he's got to make those couple decisions. So yeah.
One of our partners, Chef Patrick Mosier, and he's a business guy. He consults business as well. We always talk about your ego over profit, and how many people put their ego or don't realize they're doing that. Bezos is an example. You've got to surround yourself with good people.
Yes.
And there are so many people that are threatened by it, even if they're the president of the company, the founder, whatever, a talent, a host like this of yours. It's amazing how many people do that.
I always had a motto: hire smarter.
Right.
Hire smarter. You know, I want somebody smarter than me. Yeah. I want to hire somebody smarter than me.
So, but doesn't that start with, you've got to be confident in who you are and what you bring to the table?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's like when you're making a business decision, you know, when we had our family business, we had franchises of Terminex. We had 11 or 13 offices here in Texas. We had the whole state of Colorado. I was always trying to hire somebody that was willing to take the chance, that was willing, you know, that was smarter than me, that would move us from point A to point B. And the whole paradigm became, if you let guys paralyze themselves, and you have to recognize that quickly, you know, it's you, and then you say, you've got the wrong person around you. You know, the managers would come to me and wanting to fire a guy, and I would make them justify firing him much more than I would hire him.
Right.
Because it's like, it cost us $5,500 to get a guy through training before he ever earned us $1 of revenue.
That's quite an investment.
And so, yeah, it's like, wait a minute, you're just going to take $5,500 and throw it away? You know, this guy's 3 months into the program, and
and by the way, why also didn't you notice this problem early? Is there a question in there?
There's a few others that you want to, you know, when the criminal background comes back, you know, it's like, hey, you didn't interview this guy real well. You know, we need to talk to you about your interviewing skills.
So let's talk a little bit about the world today, and how things have changed. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. I have this theory that when things do come back around, they're always a little bit different. They look a little different than they used to. But I see some unique things right now that competition seems to have changed. And I don't know if it's generational, if it's social media, but the idea that you and I are competitors to try to, if I get a bigger piece of that pie, you got to take a smaller piece, seems to be a little bit different now, which is a good thing. Instead of let's work together and let's make more pies. I mean, there's still going to be a certain level of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's some truth in that?
It's funny. Steve Hendrickson's sitting here
from
with
McAuliffe.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take the cigar industry. Okay. That to me is an industry that, I've done a little bit of research in it, and I love cigars, but that's a whole nother story. Okay, so Davidoff, all those guys, they're while they're in competition with each other,
right?
If you go to any of the retailer dinners or whatever you want to call it, they're all sitting with each other. They're talking to each other. They're friends. And if there's a problem in the industry, it affects what affects one affects all.
Right.
You don't see that in
others,
ExxonMobil
right.
and Texaco and you don't see that.
I mean, obviously there is a certain competition. There's always going to be, and not all that's thrown out, but some of it is unnecessary competition, I guess you'd say.
Good. Look, okay, when you're number one, you never buy number two. Okay, so if you're the top dog in the world, you don't buy your biggest competitor. Okay. In advertising, if you're number one, you never mention number two. Okay. If you're number two,
right,
you always mention number one. If you're number three, you always mention number one.
The classic, we're number two, we try harder.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Okay. And so, and you also look at it from, up until about the mid 70s, it was Coke versus the other guy.
Yeah.
Right. Coke versus, and then the Cola Wars, when the FTC pulled off all the regulations and said on comparative advertising, you can compare. Now they're like, okay, it's Coke versus Pepsi. And all of a sudden Pepsi started catching up. And then Coke became, it's the Coke family versus Pepsi.
Right.
It's like, so now, we're going to skew the market share. Competition drives the world. You have to have competition. Because the greatest example is Walmart. Okay. Walmart goes into these small towns and they run mom and pop hardware, mom and pop drugstore, mom and pop grocery store out of business. And then all of a sudden mom and pop are gone. And now all you're left is with Walmart. Well, the Northeast, which was the last frontier for Walmart, they saw that coming. And the Northeast said, we're going to regulate it where a store can only be 40,000 square feet.
Yeah, they tried to stop all the big box stores, right?
Walmart said, we can't be profitable unless we're above 40,000 square feet. So they didn't go to the townships up there. They just kind of acquiesced. They tried the Walmart neighborhood market. Doesn't flow like a regular Walmart. So you look at the competition, it depends on the industry. Where the industry is highly competitive and highly regulated is where you'll see the competition the greatest, because the piece of the pie is smaller. Whereas if it's a luxury brand or something like that, it's not as competitive, and the competitors will step in and help each other at times.
What do you see with sales moving? I mean, the threat of AI and gig economy, and you're going to have multiple jobs or whatever.
Are you asking the sales professor? Or are you asking me? Okay.
Either, both.
Yeah. Look, I don't care. You can have all the information in the world, okay? Sales is always going to come down to one thing, asking the best questions. Whoever asks the best questions, the right questions. Look, the 7 steps of sales process has never changed. Well, I say that. Up until about the 60s, the 7th step, which was follow-up, was never there. And to me, follow-up is, one, the most important, and it's the longest, because that's after you've gotten the signature on the contract.
Right.
You've got to follow up. You've got to deliver. You've got to make sure everything's going right. I've always said that if you have a customer satisfaction survey, it needs to be one question. Would you recommend us to a friend? And if the answer is yes,
it's good.
You're good.
Good to go. If not?
And if not, your follow-up is why?
Why not?
Why?
What did we do wrong?
So the whole question becomes, are you asking the right question on sales? Now AI is not going to give you the questions. It's not going to give you the answers. It's not going to provide anything because we're still in a face-to-face world. We're still in a face-to-face world, and
there will always be an element of that.
Absolutely.
Interesting you'd say that. I would think that in this day and age, I would think that more business would be getting done online and not necessarily face-to-face.
I'm a dinosaur, but if you're selling a big enough product, this is a non-commoditized product. Okay, if you're, let's use Walmart for example. So if you're working for Frito-Lay, or if you're working for Snackwells or Nabisco or whatever, the salesperson that is in charge of the Walmart account lives and offices in Bentonville.
Yeah, I live in Bentonville.
Okay,
I commute.
Yeah,
so you go down the street. Everybody should take, just from a capitalism standpoint, just as an observer, travel to Bentonville, just look around and see. Every DreamWorks had an office in downtown Bentonville because Walmart sells movies.
Katie Hendrickson, my former student, was that rep.
Right on the square they had it there. And you get out and you see Coke and Swiffer, everybody with just different offices there, and everybody in my community. So if you walk out of my little development, you walk out of my development, and the guy on the right retired from Walmart, the guy on the left sold for Biscoff cookies.
Yeah.
The guy down the street was the distributor for California Pizza Kitchen, the frozen pizzas.
Yep.
And it's just, this thing is created there. It's amazing.
They require the salesperson that sells into Walmart to live there, because if they have a store opening and they say, hey, we're opening in St. Petersburg next week, this is what we need, they want to know that you're right there and then get to you that fast.
It's awesome stuff. Bob, thanks for sharing. I'd sit here and talk to you for a couple hours. We should do another segment or something and just post it later. That'd be really cool stuff. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Bob Apin, assistant prof of professional practice at TCU. Is there any social media or website you want to give out, or anybody wants to contact you?
We just started a sales and customer insight center over there. So we just started a sales center.
We should go tour.
Come on.
Check it out. I'd love it.
Come on.
Fascinated by it.
We're building a new building, so come on.
Well, we're trying to do things different and even promote capital. I'm tired of defending capitalism, and we need to promote it and tell. There's a lot of good in the world that we can do.
You know what? If it weren't for capitalists in the world, our economy would not near be what it is today.
Well, we'd be in darkness. I mean, really, this
would be.
Thanks, Bob. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate
by the way, if you have a financial planning needs, go to eracapitalmanagement.com. Really good people, ERA Capital Management. And one of the things they are really focusing on now is if you have that 401k that you have, at an old place of business. I mean, listen, a lot of times you're not at that business anymore and you really don't appreciate them.
Right.
Why do you still have your 401k? Put it to work for you and let the folks at ERA Capital Management really get a hold of this. Now, they eat their own cooking here. They invest with their own model, their own money with their model. So the models they have put in place in order to see the best growth opportunities for you, they use for their own monies as well.
They put their money where their money is.
So you sink or swim with them. In other words, they are driven to perform. And one of the cool things about this was, and I was asking how this works, because even if you don't want to just roll your 401k over, let them take care of that. If you have other monies you want to invest, their charge is not a per trade, which, people can get you there. And you go, oh, it's a percentage of whatever. No, it is a percentage at the end of the year of what your account is. It's a small percentage, and I can't remember the exact number. It might be 0.01. I can't remember exact number.
So if you don't make money,
they don't make money.
That's the best incentive right there for any business that you do business with on a financial basis.
Now, let's say you have a couple years in a row where it's down, 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 and you're like, what am I paying for this? You're not locked into a contract for 100 years or something like that.
Right.
But again, like you said, the incentive is to go up. So if I told you, hey, your portfolio, your 401k, whatever, is going to go up 30%, when you give them 1% or 0.5% or whatever.
Yes, because
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So get the information at ERAcapitalmanagement.com. ERAcapitalmanagement.com. It's a new sponsor here. They support the broadcast. They have for a long time. And I think you're going to really like them. They're doing things different. They're trustworthy. They're open. They're transparent. He walked me through the entire step of, with one of those screen where you can link up your computers to see how they invest and all of it
remotely.
Yeah, it's really pretty amazing.
By the
ERA
way, it's capital with an A.
Yeah,
Capital Management.
Yeah,
because everybody gets that.
Yeah, not Capitol like the Capitol
right.
building.
Capital.
Capitalmanagement.com.
Yeah.
ERAcapitalmanagement.com. We should get him on so he can explain how it works. I think that's going to be best for people anyways. All right, let's wrap this thing up now. ERA Capital Management.
If we had Ron over in the other...
Watch this. Watch him running. Ready? All righty, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The end of your daily mojo.
You know, this'll... Yeah, if you're listening at home...
Watch this. All right.
What do you mean it's let's go?
All righty, that is it, ladies. Daily mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned you have to hit the buttons for the show close to actually happen.
Don't you have one in there? I'm just asking.
I don't know if I do or not. The wheels have come off again today. I know, though, that, Ron, moving forward, things are getting sweaty.
Yes.
That's the new MoJo 50 slogan. Have we decided on things are getting moist or things are getting sweaty?
I think they're getting sweaty and moist.
Things are getting sweaty and moist.
Let's have a two-pronged attack.
You know, maybe people could offer slogans and maybe even memes with the logo and the...
I like that idea.
I'm just saying, maybe if you got
That's
that sort
not
of
a bad
time.
idea at all.
We also learned that David Hogg has to perform regular painful vagina maintenance. Vaginal maintenance, I guess, is...
No, I think in his case it's vaginal maintenance.
Vaginal maintenance?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay.
Welcome, my heart.
Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned the price for a good set of exotic melons is $20.
Same as downtown.
I also learned that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Lassie share at least a common ancestry, if not a common language.
What's that? I feel like she's trying to tell me something.
I also learned you fail your way to the top, but if you fail your way back down to the bottom, you're doing it wrong.
I don't know.
That's just saying.
I don't know.
That's what I learned today, anyhow.
As long as you get to keep trying. What, if anything, did the listeners learn today?
Kinsey Richards over on the MeWe learned listening to some of Doc's first talk shows. Don't you need to find a 2-track player? See,
I knew what you did because I'm old.
Right.
You know,
very old.
It's crap like that right there. It's stuff like that right there.
Yes.
Right there.
Right there. Exactly. Jill Hole learned during the Christmas season the post office isn't going to deliver. I wonder how Amazon feels about that. Right, and that's a good point. Right in the middle of the Christmas season. Just saying, may have picked a better day. Over on the Twitter, over on the Twitter, Mark Thibault. I learned if Brad wants to know how those sweet potato chips are bad for him, there's an app for that. One on the Android and probably for iPhone translates the text captured in a photo.
Oh, that's really cool.
Okay, but I don't want. That's the point. I do not want to know. It's much better to just taste the gooey sweet goodness. Just move on.
And we know Asian stuff is good for you.
Oh, absolutely, it's good for you.
Now we just move on.
Yeah, pumpkin spice with kitty sprinkles. Learned.
So silly.
Learned where do they come up with these? Learned if AOC were a cat, could we pray that somebody please put her back in the bag?
AOC says. Hashtag AOC says.
And there's plenty of those out there as well today. And finally, Stephen English learned. Wait, what? You spoon your sister?
I'm going back through my head.
Spoonie. I said
Sister
Spoonie's our
Station.
sister. You should listen to the show sometime. It's actually kind of entertaining
I can't listen
on
to
Sundays.
it. It's horrible.
Yeah, there are those days too.
I just realized, damn it, we forgot the new numbers on procrastination. Yeah,
you know,
and a little bit of that is that guy's fault.
That's Ron.
That's his fault. So, but I feel confident we can just do it tomorrow.
Okay.
What else do we have coming up tomorrow? You don't know. What does Matlock have coming? You have no idea. All right, remember, your Daily Mojo today is a Ron Phillips production. 6 Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon. Wherever you are. Anya, now you go home. The new MoJo 50. Getting moist and sweaty.
That's us. I like it.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.